Welcome to our Rolemaster Actual play session. Twilight of the Old Order is a campaign set in the world of Duranarki, the continent of men. In this gritty, cutthroat world, politics, religion, and commerce are all intertwined and reign supreme. Characters need to be both smart and ruthless to survive. We hope you enjoy our story, and, as always, may the dice roll in your favor. This is episode 96 of Twilight of the Old Order. Having located the arcane lodestones, the Twilight Party and the other group of 6 adventurers are desperately hoping the novice astral traveler Afsoon's ritual magic will work, send them back to their own time and place. We pick up the story as the Twilight members have said their farewells to both their other adventuring companions and Afsoon, and have stepped into the ritual gate towards what they hope is freedom from the horrors of the in-between. Hello, I'm Chris, otherwise known as GM Chance, and welcome to our story. So, a slightly different format tonight. You, regular viewers at least, will see fewer player characters up on screen. The reason why, if you've been following our tale, the parties have split. They have gone their separate ways. Instead of having 2 parties, 2 campaigns joined, we're now back to 2 different storylines. Tonight, we continue with the tale of Twilight of the Old Order. In a second, I'll be asking each one of the players to introduce the player character or characters that they're playing, and then we'll get straight into our story. But before I do, just a massive shout out to our regular viewers and to our subscribers. Thank you, sincerely, thank you very much. I mean, we do this for fun. This is our hobby. We get a kick out of it. We love our story and we love our gaming, but it's really nice to be able to share our story with you, with the world, I guess. And some of the feedback, some of the comments that we've been getting coming through on YouTube and various other places on the internet has been really nice. People have been very generous and very kind with what they've been saying. So fantastic. Pleased that people are enjoying it, and would love to continue to hear from you. Brilliant. So look, let's get underway. And the first person tonight is going to be Stara. Stara, take it away.
So my character is Jada. She's a super tall Arab woman, wears long flowing robes, very quiet, in her 20s, and her weapon is a quarterstaff.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Oh, and
He's a healer.
Thank you very much.
The
There we go.
Never leave home without your healer.
Never leave home without your healer. And sorry, I meant to mention before Stara as well, regular viewers will remember that a character will generally answer one of the 3 questions that's posed to them. And this week's question, your choice of question is either, does your character consider themselves a hero, a villain, or something else? Secondly, what major arcane tarot card best represents your character and why? And then lastly, what is your character's relationship with magic? Are they scared of it? Do they want to know more about it? Or are they indifferent to it? Which one is Jada going to answer, please?
Definitely not tarot cards. Okay, so Jada considers herself a kind of a hero called a martyr, but not the dead kind, the kind that gives up a lot for the sake of their principles. She just loves helping people.
Excellent. Sorry, was that it? Is that it?
That's it.
That's it? All good? Marvellous. Thank you. Let's go to Graham.
Hello. I'm playing 2 characters, first of which is Severin Kydegard. He is a swordsman. He is a male Northman who is equipped with heavy plate armor, and as his profession suggests, a dab hand with a sword. He's a solid kind of bloke, very loyal, resilient, fancies himself as a bit of a leader of men, which is something he's working at, but he's good-natured, sort of natural kind of charmer. However, he does have rather high expectations of others that could be slightly annoying. My other character is Tenya. She is a hunter, a wood elf, and she is her weapon of choice is a bow. She much prefers to engage an enemy at distance, but she's a difficult sort, rather spiky, sarcastic, and neither probably, but nevertheless refined manners. She's well educated, comes from a kind of a privileged background, and her family has fallen on hard times. In terms of questions, Severin, relationship with magic, I'd say he is curious about it. He knew nothing about magic until really he was introduced to some other characters in his party, and he's quite interested by it. And actually, he's now acquired a couple of objects that he's able to cast spells through, and he's quite thrilled with them. Actually, it's not his thing, and he doesn't necessarily come easy to him, but it's something that he's growing to enjoy. Tanya, meanwhile, does she consider herself a hero, a villain, or something else? Probably as something else. I think she's been used to looking after herself for a long time, and she's had her own agenda in terms of what she needs to do, and she's been well and truly thrown off course with this great purpose or mission or quest that she suddenly found herself at the forefront of, and she doesn't feel like a hero, but she strangely feels compelled to see it through.
Fantastic. Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Let's go to Aiden.
Hello, Aiden, and I am playing Grey. He's a very handsome half-elf who has quite good magical skills. He's not super well educated. He's had a bit of a hard go of life, but he's recently learnt to read, and he's very excited about that. It kind of leads me into his take on magic. He's quite naturally gifted at magic, but he's not been able to read for a very long time, so he's not had the easiest way to. He's not been able to educate himself. But now that he's learnt to read, he's definitely keen to take a greater interest in it and kind of learn a lot more. So, yes, he's quite excited about magic.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good. Anthony.
Kia ora, everyone. I'm Anthony, and I'm playing Ascalion, or Ascal for short. He's a tall half-elf warrior mage with a well-groomed beard who comes from a port city, and his favourite weapon is his trusty cutlass. In regards to the question, his relationship with magic, so as a warrior mage, he's a semi-magic user. So he's not scared of it. He would definitely want to gain more of it. He would like to be more powerful. So that's definitely something in the back of his mind. More, perhaps, destructive magic.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Watch this space.
Yes.
Very good. Very good. Lastly, Pete.
Kia ora. I will be playing Nicholas. He is a pure magic user, so he isn't so good with his weapons and stuff. He is a mentat, which means he uses mentalism spells, although he sort of has a smattering of other realms in there as well. He's just a common man, sort of quite a small fellow, quite unassuming, quiet but good-natured. In terms of the questions, what does your character consider themselves? Does your character consider themselves a hero, villain, or something else? Something else. He wouldn't define himself certainly not as a hero, or definitely not a villain. He's not a villain. he can identify heroes. He would consider Severin and Askell and Grey certainly as heroes. I suppose the rest of the party, he would sort of consider them to be heroes, and he finds them quite useful to help protect him. So that's quite nice. I mean, he considers them, friends, and he would put himself on the line for them too. But he's not at all afraid of letting heroes be heroic. He just sees himself as just a regular guy, quite a bright regular guy, who's just trying to do the right thing, basically. And, of course, that means that if someone's wronged him or sort of offended him, then perhaps, the right thing, therefore, obviously, is for them to have some sort of repercussion in that and to do some, perhaps, learning about life. Who knows what form that might take. But yeah, he's just trying to do the right thing.
Excellent. What a moral, principled young man he is. Marvellous! Well met all. Fantastic and well introduced. Right, so, bit of a recap. And just while I do, I'm going to switch off our rather pleasant background music, because at the moment, you guys are nowhere. If you recall last session, you were where we left it. Your characters were in the in-between. This strange place in between worlds, this multi-dimensional place that allows people to cross from different planes of existence or different places, times, spaces, known as either the in-between, as mentioned, or the fifth place, or the elemental path, or there are whole hosts of other names. Through various trials and tribulations, not least people losing hands and being knocked unconscious, there was even a near-death experience for Askell, and a pretty harrowing time. You've clawed your way through this terrible place. And with some guidance from this strange woman and an astral traveler, or an apprentice astral traveler by trade, Afsoon, you were able to locate the items that she needed to cast a ritual. And at the very end of last session, she did indeed cast that ritual, and that's where we begin the session. And the ritual was to create a gate, create a portal, or a crossing point, whatever you want to call it, between fifth place, as she described it, and definitely your own time, and hopefully your own place, or the place of your choosing. And Nicholas, very gamely for your party, located a spot on the map that he thinks is the correct location where you're hoping to reappear. Afsoon had described that these various points on the map were almost like magical sinkholes, or some people call them ley lines, or points of power, or points of influence. Basically, essence, or the very raw power of the world has coalesced at certain points, or spots, or hubs on the face of the earth. And that's what those little markers were, that one of which Nicholas pointed at. She's explained that often in those locations, just because of the very inherent powerful nature of the residual magic in the area, often there's something in that area. There's sometimes a great city. There's sometimes potentially a very powerful beast or monster that has ended up residing there. Maybe a powerful magic user might be there. Some kind of strange magical phenomena might be at that point. Sometimes there's nothing. But very commonly, at least throughout the civilized world, there are these columns called navigator columns, or navigator beacons. Columns of black obsidian type glass. All of you have seen many of these as you've traveled around this world. That the ancient ones, people whose technology and time is well and truly out of mind, people say it might have been the Lords of Arcana, used to travel around the world. And indeed, a group of magical guides, I suppose is probably the best word, called the navigators, use these points to take by teleportation other people around the world. Afsoon's hope is that the spell firstly has worked and that you're in one piece, and secondly that it has managed to transport you back to at least the correct time. She's pretty confident that's the case, but hopefully the correct location that you've chosen. Tonight we find out where you've ended up. That's where we're going to begin the game. Any qualifying questions or points or thoughts before we start, please?
Yes. Before we left the other party, we had a discussion about arrangements for communicating with the other group. And, excuse me, we were aiming for Jebi Retana, was our destination, but both groups decided that if we needed to communicate in future or leave messages for each other, we would try and leave a message that included the words hero and Twilight in it at a particular inn in Jebi Retana, and Mythan was trying to remember the name of the inn. So I've put a note in our party intel lore channel about what her memory was of that. So she couldn't remember the name of the inn, so we'll have to do a little bit of comparing to her memory tonight, just to make sure we've got the right place, so that we can, if we need to leave a message, or if we want to stay there, we know what we're doing. That was it.
Very good. Thanks, Pete. Any other questions, comments, anything we need to discuss, to talk about before we get underway? Nope. Okay. Let's start the game. So, just as Nicholas reached up and pointed to the correct, well, what he hopes is the correct spot on the map, everything seemed to pause, and all you could hear was your heartbeat beating faster and faster and faster and faster. Somebody, I think it might have been Jada, rolled the dice to see if the spell was indeed successful. Just like that, you're gone. The ruins of Afsoon's refuge that was destroyed by some hideous fire demon or some beast is no longer there. And everything is no longer there. You're no longer there. And suddenly all of your characters are pulled, yanked, twisted, turned. And the very first thing that happens to you is something horrible. As the incantation starts and you start rocketing through, each one of you, you're obviously unaware and you can't see each other, but each one of you is aware of these horrible coils of smoke, sometimes white, sometimes black, spinning, reeling, rocketing around you, and a presence. One, a very, very light presence. One, a very, very dark presence. The horde that's trying to get at you. The beautiful, horrible terror that waits above. And at this moment, I'd like each one of you, please, to make a channeling resistance roll. Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Oh.
100.
Yeah, always. Yes, please.
I got 100.
Oh, you got 100. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Always.
It's feeling good.
Yeah, there
Always.
you go. Good start
Nice
for the
and
evening.
dry.
Good start for the evening. Excellent. Okay, thank you. Who's next?
Did I mention that Severin and Tanya were holding Gray's hands? Okay.
Who's next?
I'll go Tanya, 29.
Okay, what's her level, please?
She is 7th, I believe. 7th, and she's got a -1 channeling adjustment.
Okay, we'll come back to Tanya in a second.
And I'll do Severin while I'm here.
Yep.
75.
75.
And he's got plus 15.
Cool. Okay, thank you. Who's next?
I'll go.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you go.
Sorry. Oh, 93. Minus
93.
-3.
3. Cool. Thank you. Cool. Askell.
Let's go. There we go. 37.
37. Cool. And what level are you, please, Askell?
He's level 6.
And that was 37.
37. Yep, and he's got a modifier of -3.
Okay, cool. All right, and then lastly, Jada, please.
Oh dear, I forgot to pray.
What was the result?
28.
28. Okay. All right. So Askell, Jada, and Tanya, as you kind of force your way through this, reeling, and you can hopefully see on screen just this kind of coiling smoke, and it's a split second. It's only there for less than a heartbeat. All three of you are aware of agony, pain, absolute pain, even though it's only for a split second, on the palms of both of your hands, just for a second, and then it's gone. However, I would like Jada to join me in chat room 1, please. Hello, Jada.
Hello.
How you doing?
What are you going to do to me?
So, as
I knew we should have healed Afsoon.
as as this happens to Jada, there's this sensation of burning on the palms of her hands, and then for a second, Jada's outside her body, and you don't know where you are, or you're nowhere actually, but you can see Jada's body. It's a very surreal experience looking at your body, and then your face kind of twists and morphs and changes, and this horrible black smoke kind of congeals around your face, and your face, Jada, elongates, and the snout comes out of your face, and these fierce, terrible red eyes suddenly appear in Jada's face. And looking directly across from where Jada is, where you are, weird, is this, firstly, this reeling black mass. You can see on screen. You may be able to see on screen, at least. You probably can't actually because I switched the camera off. But there's this reeling kind of black, kind of smoky cloud, and every second or two you see kind of tentacles or claws or just things kind of thrashing inside this blackness. But above that as well is this lightness, and just for a second or two, Jada, you make out these shapes, these beautiful, painfully horribly beautiful shapes and faces of impossibly beautiful, pristine people in this white and above. So firstly, there's Jadar, yourself, looking in at yourself with this weird, horrific face on her, kind of made out of smoke with a snout on it and red eyes and all
A
the rest.
snout. I'd better not be a pig.
And in front of her is this kind of black mass, and then above the black mass is this kind of white mass. And then this thing that is Jadar with this snout just snarls at the two kind of white and black mass shapes. It just snarls. You've got no idea what language it's in. You don't know what it's in. You just hear the following. It is mine. My soul to torment as I wish. It is mine. I care not for your petty prophecies or the end of times. It is mine. It is mine. And then with a clap, back. And I'll join you back in the other room.
Am I allowed to tell the others? Or?
Probably not right now, but you can describe once you get a chance. Once you get a chance, because at the moment you're somewhere nowhere. But once you get a chance and you're able to speak, sure. Yeah, I mean, with anything, you can, unless I specifically tell you, you can't tell them. Yeah, you bet. Right now you're in transit, but after transit, you bet.
Okay.
Cool. See you back in the room.
It's such that it can travel miles and miles.
Wow.
That'd be great.
And what's that? The spell to do what?
Well, he can summon a server elemental or a riding elemental, which potentially can travel miles at a casting, carrying just him.
Amazing.
We'll see.
All right, folks. So, yeah, this horrible swirling smoke happens for a second, and then all of a sudden it stops. And again, for just the briefest of seconds, you're here. All of you are here. There's no sound, but you are moving at a speed and a pace. There's definitely the sensation of movement around you, and you don't know how long you're here for, but you're here for a short time, a long time, no time, who knows. Then there's this sound. And you're out. Takes a second or two for your senses to kind of quite get your head around things, what's going on. Your eyes are all blurry. You're kind of spinning and shaking. But immediately some things are apparent. You hear the sound of, is that rain? And then the sound of what almost voices and smells. My God, for the first time ever, smells in a long time. And then suddenly you all realize you're really pretty hungry, very, very hungry, in fact, very thirsty. And then kind of your eyes clear, and suddenly reality floods back in, and it's quite intense. All of your characters have experienced for quite some time is the in-between. This almost often absence of sound, this no sensation, no warmth, no cold, no hot nor dry, nothing, just a complete absence of everything. And your bodies are quite confronted with all of this information that just comes pouring back in. You find yourselves standing in a what appears to be a stone room. There's a very large white stone dais that you're standing on, and there are several large troughs around the edge of this circular dais. It's not very high. It's only about a foot or so high, and there's a lot of natural light that's coming in. No need for torches or anything like that. There's quite a lot of winds coming through. You can kind of hear it in the background. And surrounding you are a number of people, and I'll show you what they look like. Just while I'm finding that. First person you see is... Oops. There we go. Is this man. Coming up on screen now. And then there are lots of these men, probably about 10 or 15 of these guys, and they have spears kind of not like readied about to strike, but they're certainly they have their weapons. They have their weapons ready. You can definitely hear the sound of rain outside. It's hot. That's one of the first things that hits you, and humid, like really quite sticky. And yeah, there's sounds in the distance. There are people shouting. You can kind of make it out. There's even a bit of music, perhaps, that you can pick up. Maybe in the distance, there's strange calls. Although Jada and Askell, they don't sound so strange to you. And there's clearly quite a few people around where you are. You're in, there's clearly quite some number of people in your vicinity. Can I please ask everybody to make a Constitution check? What I'm wanting you to do is roll a D100 dice. Add on, it's an easy, so it's plus 20 to the roll, and then add on your Constitution bonus. Please tell me if you don't make 101.
That was Constitution bonus, was it?
Oh, bonus. The bonus of it.
Well, Tanya hasn't.
Okay.
Gray's doing all right tonight. He's rolled an 88, so he's definitely got it.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Anybody else not get 101?
Yeah, me.
Okay. Anybody else?
One moment. Yeah, and Askell.
7 on Nicholas.
Yeah, good.
Cool.
Nicholas got 99.
Cool. So you suddenly perhaps realise what those quite kind of large troughs are for, because both Tanya, Jadar, and Askell, this experience of being hurtled through God knows where you've been, you've almost felt the sensation of you being twisted inside out. Your stomach has gone everywhere, and for the three of you, your stomach has just rebelled. And immediately the three of you rush to a nearby trough, and up comes whatever meager food and rations that you've had. It's not a pleasant experience, and you're feeling quite miserable as a result. But after a second or two, you come to, and one of these guys that you can see on screen comes up to each of you. They're looking warily at you. They've got their spears up, kind of, but hands you each some water and a cloth for you to wipe yourselves with. Any immediate reactions other than cleaning yourself up, guys?
Do either? Well, certainly my characters recognise the language that's being spoken.
No one said anything yet.
Oh, okay. Well, Tanya would thank whoever helped her in South Tongue, I guess.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'll be thanking them, and I'm a bit overdue for praying, so have a quick pray.
Okay. This man comes up towards you, and he's just looking at you quite warily, and he says in quite broken but understandable South Tongue, "Who are you, travellers?" And you, by the way, looking at you, you're a mess, all of you. Those that haven't got vomit all over them. Your clothes are filthy from the walls collapsing inside the in-between. There's mud, some of it yours, some of it other people's. There's bits of bug that's on you. I mean, you've done your best to clean up, but you know, you're looking around at your companions. You're not in a great shape. You're also, all of you are very aware that you're extremely hungry and extremely thirsty.
Well, Severin's happy to reply and just say, apologies for our appearance. We've been through a rough patch, but we are visitors to your good city, and wish to recover, clean, and eat and drink, and live peaceably while we're here. And he'll introduce himself by the pseudonym that he uses, and likewise introduce the party and bow very low.
Okay. Anybody else doing anything?
Yeah, can Eskel, he's got a couple of skills. We able to use his geography to get a feel of where we are. He's got, yeah, that sort of thing. And he's got some other language he would be interested in trying, Herodanian. But yeah, whether his geography helps him sort of pick up any cues of anything, what they're wearing.
Sure. Give me a roll.
Okay. He rolled an 85. His geography is plus 21.
I mean, he's pretty convinced these people are of his people are of Arabic origin. He's pretty sure. Where they are, yeah, he doesn't know much more than that. But yeah, it'd be fair to say that certainly the way that they're dressed and their general appearance. I mean, you don't have a lot to go on. You're inside a large circular room on a dais with a group of people standing around you, so you don't have a lot to go on. But yeah, that would be your guess so far.
Right. He's also got. I was going to say he's also got a local etiquette skill. Could he use that just to understand what probably needs to be done, where we've arrived?
Sure. So local etiquette is how to operate in your own town.
Okay.
Yep. But he could, yeah. I mean, basically, it's a form of diplomacy, and he could use half that to try to operate here if he wishes. Just a quick heads up: both Tanya, Askel, and Jadar, you're definitely aware of several things. Firstly, you're very hungry, as mentioned. You're very thirsty, and then all three of you have pretty intense pain on the palms of your hands.
And did any of our characters recognise the language from the call to prayer?
Yeah, it's Herodanian. It's Arabic. Yeah. And it's the call to prayer is certainly not that anybody else knows this, other than Askel and Jadar. But yeah, it's definitely a Herodanian prayer. Yeah.
I think Severin would like to activate his earpiece.
Okay.
Oh, so we can communicate. So we just ask for some help food and shelter and water. What do you call it? A place to sleep, lodgings.
Directions to a good inn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or caravan, whatever.
So
Caravan type ways are.
And Nicholas would have introduced himself if it was appropriate if we were taking turns introducing ourselves. He would have changed his pseudonym, actually. He'd be using Thomas Tallis instead of William Bird.
Oh, nice.
So, travellers, says this man here, we are the guardians of people entering our fair city from this navigator portal. We see travellers come regularly, 2, maybe 3 times a day, sometimes more, sometimes less. You did not arrive by the means of navigators. I politely, please, request that you come with myself and my companions here, and we will have a conversation, he says.
Okay, so I better tell them. Hi, I'm Jada. I follow Goquellen, daughter of Thoth, and the goddess of everyday life, which includes travel. And and I'm to hold up my fingers into the sign of the 3 and look at you guys. Hope you do the same, sort of like a W. See what that does.
Oh, they nod. Good to see that we have one of the faithful amongst you. That is a good sign, my lady. You are most welcome. He says in Haradanian.
Awesome. Then I might just quickly try and pray with him. I like to pray. My type of praying is just like weird platitudes. So just put my hands together and be like, a sacrifice today for a better tomorrow, and see what happens there.
He says, very, very good. It's nice. It's always nice to meet such a pious woman. Now, please, can you and your companions come with me now?
I think, several would say, we'd be pleased to, sir.
Okay. Yep.
But he bows to Jada and he nods his head, and he would absolutely acknowledge the fact that you're one of the true faith, and as appears to be his team. And you're given honor, and they appreciate the fact that you're clearly a pious person. So your gesture definitely doesn't go unnoticed.
Oh, good. I was with for the other guys. We wish you guys wish you'd listened to me now and done some praying.
Do any of you say or do anything?
Happy to comply.
Yeah, I think happy to comply.
Happy to comply. Gray would have a big sniff though. Maybe see if what he can smell.
Okay.
You might want to think of some platitudes to say they love it.
He'd be holding up his 3 fingers.
Okay. So this gentleman, obviously his weapons aren't drawn. He doesn't have a shield on him. He seems quite courteous. He speaks perfect Haradanian. His South tongue is manageable. He speaks a little with this stilted but understandable. You will come with me now, and you can all understand what he's saying. He leads you down off the dais, and you see that there are 3 or 4 different entrances, or 4 different entrances to this room. There's a large kind of double-doored archway that's leading out, and you can hear the majority of the noise and the sound of what appears to be market and the sound of outside in that direction. He takes you off to one of the side doors. It's a functional room. It's it's moderately comfortable. He goes and sits behind a desk. At the very back of the room is a very long and quite wide trestle table. The room's quite big. It would be about 25 foot by about 20. Decent sized room. And he says, please, your borsado, your how do you say? He turns to Jedi. And he uses the word for bag. Your bag. You put here on the table, and then he gestures to a set of 8 chairs in front of the desks, and he says, and these ones. He points to your weapons as well, on table.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody doing anything? Anybody I should be aware of?
Yeah, Nicholas will murmur to Severin, just as we're sort of under the hubbub of that, sort of, as a question, we came across a strange column in the jungle. He's assuming Severin's going to...
Yes, he will give the name of the kingdom that they were in when they got lost in the jungle.
Gaul. Yeah. Nicholas is just so he can sort of get their story straight, sort of agreeing that that's perhaps their story. We touched a strange column and it's teleported us here. I don't know.
We might need to offer some money too, because that's just the custom here.
Good.
Oh, I wouldn't do that.
Well, it's like tithing,
Yeah, maybe not now.
Oh, hang on. None of you, are you guys having this conversation? Because if you are, you are, and he's listening. No? Okay.
No, Nicholas would just say his little thing and then comply with the putting the bag down and putting his... They want his short sword as well.
Sorry?
They want Nicholas to put his short sword on the table?
All weapons, all bags on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eskel. Same.
Yeah, I could just reassure the group, they're very religious people. They have very strict rules. They don't usually steal and rob you. Usually.
Does anybody... Gray's happy to do so? Anybody else... Anybody not happy to do so?
He's not particularly happy to do so. I don't know if he does. I don't think he understands this language so well. So he's just doing what the other guys are doing.
What is his south tongue?
Gray's south tongue is a 3.
Okay, so he can make himself understood, but he's not great. So he's picking up most. South tongue has been the common language amongst all of you, by the way. But he's doing his best. So your possessions, all of your weapons, put down on the table. Glancing over the shoulder, you see that some of the soldiers are going through each item and having a look. They're being quite respectful, so they're picking up the weapons. They'll draw the sword, check it out, put it back down. They'll open up a pack, have a look inside, have a bit of a rummage around, etc. The gentleman on screen gestures for you to take a seat. You do. And a minute or so later, one of his men comes up and gives you each a cup of tea. Realizing you're very, very thirsty, do you consume it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, Eskel will.
Okay.
I will sniff it first.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to give me a roll?
Sure. Oh gosh. 27.
27. Cool. What's his perception?
His perception is 38.
Okay. I think it's got something sweet in it, perhaps. Right?
Very like sweet.
Okay.
Can Nicholas do a poison law check on it?
Sure.
Oh, nice.
Oh, 23.
Oh, no.
This is master, of course.
Master? Oh, cool.
Yep. What's his bonus, please, Pete?
48.
Cool.
Okay, so he's paranoid. Fine.
Okay. Smells like tea with honey in it, maybe?
I can try and hypnotise this guy if you guys want me to. But,
I'm
I
not
trust
sure.
my people.
Oh.
I didn't see that.
No, that was a mistake. That was the GM just making a mistake. GM just making a mistake. Okay. So he sits down and he eyeballs each of you and just says, so can you please each individually tell me who you are, where are you from, and then tell me how did you come to be here, please? And he starts with Askell. Please, sir. And he gestures at Askell.
Yes, I will say I'm Escalian, and I am from... where am I from? The Empire of Thamazul.
Ah, the motherlands. Yes, good.
And I'd be speaking in Herdanian as well.
Oh, okay, excellent. So see, he has this moment when, if you're ever, when you guys have spoken with a person who is operating in a second language, they're never fully at ease because, well, not never fully at ease, but there's often this moment where suddenly people are speaking their native language and they can just see him relax, and he just does. And he's clearly an intelligent man and quite verbose. Oh, good. And where in Thamazul are you from, my friend?
I am from the port city of Jebi.
Ah, good place. They suffered a major earthquake some time back there, but yes, good city, good. Excellent. And what do you do for a trade, friend Askell?
I'm traveling. What's the word? Bodyguard, protector. I'm here with my good lady here, the healer. So she can continue her work, and these are all my friends, as well.
Good. Well, thank you, Askelion, and well met. Now, by the way, anybody, anytime that wants to do any kind of social role, a charm roll, a hypnotism roll, you guys just knock yourselves out. He turns to Nicholas next. You, sir.
Nicholas will try in South Tongue.
Yep.
Start talking. Well, actually, might try Thebronic, if that's a better language.
Okay. Yeah, try it.
He'll just try. Oh no, actually, he hasn't gone up a level. He'll try his Westron first and see if he's more comfortable in Westron.
No.
Okay, so
No.
he was happy to speak in South Tongue, which is rank 5.
Okay.
He'll explain that his name is Thomas Tallis, and that he's from. I'm just trying to find that. What's the name of the place? Got it right in front of me. Where did I scroll from? There we are. From Van Meer or Ras Narberth, the colony,
yes.
the Thracian colony. So he's wanted to stick to what he knows, and that he's from Haymore,
Good.
the colony's capital city, which he's not. He's from Seymour, but he's saying he's from Haymore.
Good.
And he's a travelling scholar.
Traveling scholar, I see.
Well, and an adventurer, he'll sort of add with a little sort of flare in his eyes, but perhaps then look a little like, quite innocent sort of thing.
I see.
And then sort of slump a bit.
Okay.
Quite weary. Yep.
Good. He turns to Severin next.
Severin would like to be charming.
Okay. Give me a roll.
31.
Plus?
With an adjustment of plus 63.
He's good.
And
Hang on, just a second.
Oh,
a second. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Keep going, sir. Continue, please, Severin.
so he'd like to speak Hardanian. Now he's got his earbuds activated.
Oh, he needs to make a roll for that, please.
Oh, okay. 81.
81. Just a sec. The guy looks a little bit concerned. Did you just cast... By the way, that was a successful spell. Did you just cast an incantation?
And Severin will bow and say, I have a device that allows me to speak different languages. I'm afraid I don't normally speak Haradanian, but as you see now I'm able to. I hope you don't mind I just wanted to talk to you. My South tongue is not so great.
Okay. So, with that, Severin is being quite charming. Quite charming. Can you make another roll, please? Yeah, can you make another roll and add plus 20 to it?
55.
Plus 65? It's 20.
Yeah.
Bang. Cool. Okay, yep, keep going.
So, yes, Severin's talkative and looks him directly in the eye and warmly and says, friend, we have been on a hard and very strange journey. We were in the jungles of is it Gaul, and visiting a far-off elven kingdom through a connection.
I'm sorry, friend. I want to hear who your companions are first, but then I'm very keen to hear your tale. But well met.
Oh, sorry, yes. So that only gives his name and says, yes, well met, sir.
Well met. But he clearly has taken a shine to Severin, and Severin has been very charming, very urbane, very nice. Adds in some witticisms in there, and clearly he's taken a shine to Severin. He's smiling. He turns to Jada next.
So Jada lets him know that she was from Empire of Thamazul, Western Duranarki, brought up in the El Nyazar Monastery.
Oh,
and
you're a woman of the cloth.
Yes.
Well
yes,
met.
and these are my very good friends. And and I had heard actually that the monastery had burnt down. Have you heard? Is that true?
I know not the monastery of which you speak. No, I think it's very broad-minded and commendable of you to travel with heathens. I say well done. It's good. It's good to make friends with the unbelievers, I think.
I'm trying hard to make them believers.
Good,
Very hard.
good. Yes, so I'm sorry, I interrupted your story.
So here we are. We actually really have been in a strange place. We were really thirsty. That's all I'd like to say. How long will this take?
Well, you will understand that the authorities have vested the power in me to make sure that we know who is entering our fair city. But welcome, Jada, he says.
So I touch my forehead to the ground and get down on my knees and say, everything happens for a reason, and hands together.
He does the same. He turns to Grey next.
Grey would try his very best to
Me, Tarzan,
remember all
you,
the
Grey.
words.
Yep.
And he would try to be very charming and say that he comes from a little place called Tama. It's out in the bush, but he's traveling with his friends that he's met across their journeys. He's heard the message from Jada and he's interested, and he's just traveling with them because he wants to hear more.
Very good. When you say he's being very charming, did you want to make a roll or not?
Sure.
Okay.
Sweet.
Do you have a skill in charm or seduction?
Let me see. I don't know if he's got seduction. He's rolled a 35, and he has. He does not have any skills in seduction.
Okay, negative 25. Modified by his presence, please. What's his presence?
His presence.
Sorry, Graham. What's seduction? Presence and
Empathy.
70.
Presence and empathy. Can you add your presence, your empathy together and divide by 2, please?
Yep, sorry, I'll just do that.
Thank you.
That would be 100. Wait, no, sorry, wait.
The bonuses. The bonuses.
Oh, the bonuses. Oh, sorry. I was thinking, jeepers, he's doing well. Bonuses. So that would be 14.
Cool. Plus 14. All right.
Plus 14.
Cool. Yeah. Fair to say, Gray, you're trying your best, but he pretty much just dismisses you. I mean, he kind of, oh yeah, okay, good, and then finally turns to Tanya.
Who, similarly, using South Tongue, it tells him her name and that she's originally from Jebi Retana. And she uses her best manners, her refined manners that she has learned over the years.
Is she wanting to make a roll?
What would be the role?
Some kind of, any kind of social role that you think would be appropriate. I'd give you half for non kind of charm, I guess.
Oh, she has some charm.
Up to you.
So I guess she'd use that.
Yeah, if you want to go for it. It's always gamble, though. You could do very well, or you could do very badly, or you could do.
I mean, she'd rather not try. She'd just rather be fairly straightforward, to be honest.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Great. So he kind of quizzes all of you, and you can see he's standing there. He's twirling his mustache and just listening. He's smiling, being polite. But you are noting that one of his officers off to one side, he's speaking to, and they're taking notes in a book, writing things down. And he finally turns back to Severin. Yes, my friend, you were saying, how did you come to be here? Please tell me.
It is a peculiar story, and I must apologise for how we look. I appreciate. I'm afraid we have come from the very wilds of the jungle, and we are in an absolute state. I'm embarrassed.
Look,
I'm embarrassed.
You could do with a bath. I'm sorry to say.
Oh, I tell you, sir, there'll be after a hearty meal. That's the next thing we shall do. Find the finest hammam in your city and take a good, well-earned steam and bath, I think. Yes. Well. Sorry, I'm catching my breath. We were, in the jungles of Gaul, and we had business with the Elven Kingdom of, and he'll give the name.
Mm-hmm.
And we came across a ruin, and I can't explain, sir. We were in the ruin, and now we're here. And I can't. There was a column, but to my eye, didn't look like a navigator column. I'm afraid we're a bit lost for words. We were wrenched from where we are, and now we're here.
Are you sorcerers?
No. No. I don't believe it was of our doing. Certainly, by the way, sir, I must apologise. Where are we?
Where are you?
Yes.
Oh, you're in the greatest city of the world.
Sorry. Would you mind confirming the name? We're not entirely sure. My apologies.
Well, you're in Jebi Retana, of course.
Good. But that is a relief. This is a place I want to be. And he kind of makes light of it and says, so good to be back in civilization, and within reach of a good hearty meal and a bath.
Well, you shall have it, my friend. You shall have it. Just one moment, and he gets up from his seat and he goes over to what appears to be a sergeant or somebody in charge of who's been going through your packs. He has kind of a hushed conversation with that person and out of earshot, and then says, "So good, Severin," and he uses the Severin. The pseudonym. Good friend Severin. So all appears. This is a very, very curious tale, and we will be definitely taking your details. What I would like to know about is, where is your license, please?
You'll have to excuse me. Which license would this be?
Well, some kind of trader's license or metal trader's license, and he points to all the various ingots that are strewn across the table.
Yes, you mean my merchant license? I'm afraid it's somewhat embarrassing. As you can see, we're in something of a disarray here. We do not have one, but I would, if you could give me some means to reapply, I would most
reapply.
Grateful.
So you have had a trader's license here before, a merchant's license here before?
Not to this city, no. And I'm sorry because I didn't actually know where we were. To be quite honest with you, we don't know quite how we got here or why we've been transported here. But sorry, I'm not aware of local customs. But I would be pleased to certainly acquire one at the earliest convenience.
So, to check, my friend, why didn't you say that you were traders to begin with?
Well, what did you think we were? We are travellers between cities. We were sent down to
By who?
the jungles of through a family acquaintance of the princess. In terms of returning a
princess. What princess?
Of the kingdom, the elven kingdom of, and he tells the.
I don't know of such a place, but.
Okay. Yes, we were essentially transporting goods and a family member, and escorting her back to her kingdom.
So your story's changing a little bit now.
No, sir. No.
Shall I hypnotize him?
No.
So
no, sir. No. As I say, we had business down in the kingdom of, and I'll give the name again.
I see. As metal traders.
No. Not specifically metal traders. We were essentially escorting a family member down there. But yes, we do have items of trade with us. Correct.
I see. Where do these items of trade come from? They look as though they could be of some value.
They are from the kingdom, and I'll give the name again.
That kingdom is in Gaul, and much of Gaul is in the hands of the kingdom of Thrace.
I believe while we did learn of a horrific battle that affected the area to the north of the kingdom. We heard it was terrible. Yes, but thankfully we were not caught up in any of that.
So my dilemma, I have a group of, please don't take offense, but poorly dressed, equally poorly smelling people that appear to be in some distress arrive in front of myself and my men. People who claim to be from a kingdom that is very far away, that I would find it hard, but by no means impossible to verify, who are carrying a not inconsiderable amount of wealth on them, but didn't disclose the wealth when they first told me their story.
I'm sorry, sir. I wasn't aware that we had to disclose our wealth to you, sir. Otherwise, I would have gladly have done so. I'm sorry. I have not been to your land before, and I'm afraid I'm not quite having only just arrived. I'm not really across your local customs. I'm sorry if I'm in any way insulting you or saying the wrong thing. This is, yes, we're a little bit disorientated, I'm afraid.
Yes, and in need of perhaps, as you say, some chance in the tub to rectify a number of
a good hosing down, I'd say.
Yes. Well, firstly, welcome to Jebi Retana. what I am requesting you to do, please, is I would like to corroborate some aspects of your story. I've taken down the details, or more to the point, my man here has. And I'd like you to report back to, it won't necessarily be myself, but report back to this watch house every second day, just until we just clear up exactly where this amount of metal came from, he said, pointing at the not inconsiderable amount of ingots at the back of the room.
Of course, sir.
These,
and should I
beg your pardon?
should I quote your name when I come back, or?
Yes, indeed. My name, and he clears his throat. My name is Fahad Al-Namla, Captain Fahad Al-Namla of the City Watch of Jebi Retana. You may take your weapons, of course. Also, if it would be helpful, some of my men can escort you to perhaps a place of lodging, if you have somewhere in mind, or we can perhaps suggest somewhere. We're happy to accompany you. You do look, frankly, a little bit the worse for wear, if that would be useful.
Oh, that's a most gracious offer, sir. Thank you. He bows again.
I would suggest, because, however, the amount of metal that's on this table, if it is what it appears, at least for 4 days, and I'll give you a receipt for it, we will hold on to it.
Well, I think here Severin would do his best to charm the guy that isn't wouldn't be strictly be required, and actually what he would really appreciate is actually the name of a bank nearby that he might be able to, that would be able to facilitate that for us.
It will be perfectly safe with us, and I will give you a receipt signed in front of all of my men here. This is your property, and you may recover it once we've proved the veracity of your story.
People, I think Severin would like to charm him a bit further and suggest that he'd be a bit more comfortable given the quantity if we were able to put it in a bank. Not, I'm sure he's no vouchsafe for your men. However,
okay, give me a charm roll. You successfully charmed him before, so mark down a medium maneuver. Give me another roll, and this will be at plus 40 for the roll.
71. 71 plus...
And the skill? 65?
65.
Severin, I like you. You're a good man, alright, and you drive a hard bargain. I am somewhat aggrieved that you don't think that my humble watch house is an adequate enough place to store your possessions. But certainly, if it would ease your mind, yes, there is a merchant bank across the street from here. We're in the main bazaar of town, and we can deposit that for you. We will be the ones, however, that will be able to retrieve it.
So Esker would like to speak up, and interrupt slightly,
Sure.
and just say, excuse me, almost your name. I said,
Phenomena.
Manamana.
Dooba-dooba.
I'm just wondering, do you know my dear lady, Dina Abdulaziz Al-Fawdi?
No, I haven't heard of her. Who is she?
Well, she's my mistress from Shabibi, and she's related to the Emperor's third cousin, very influential and wealthy. Surprised you have not heard of her.
At the mention of the Emperor, he straightens a little bit. My goodness. Well, no, I mean, Jebi Retana is, of course, its own independent state. We of course honor and respect the gods of the Empire of Thumazul, but this is an independent country and some way distant from the Empire. I don't know the woman of who you speak, but if she has such close links to His Holiness, that is very interesting. Very interesting. Would you be comfortable with me? Sorry, can I get the spelling of her name again, please?
Dina, Deena.
He writes it all down. Yep.
Yeah. Abdulaziz,
Mhm.
Abdulaziz, Al-Faudi, Al-Faudi.
Well, that is a much easier connection for us to verify than, frankly, an elven kingdom somewhere in Gaul. I'll do you this, friend Severin. We will head over to the bank at your request. I like you. You seem like a good man. We'll deposit these items in a bank at your request. We will have the ability to take these items. And he points to the not inconsiderable amount of ingots at the back. Approximately how many ingots would there be? I think you've got this down pat, Graham. Ballpark? Hello, Graham? Hello?
Sorry, yeah, quite a few. Something in the region of 24.
Okay. So, yeah, it's not 1 or 2. 24 is quite a lot. We will deposit these in the bank. I will have the ability. We will have the ability. The state will have the ability to withdraw it, but it will remain in a bank. We will verify our friend Askel's story here. Shabibi is a lot closer and more easily accessible than Gaul is, frankly. Gaul is the outer rims of civilization. And if the story is indeed true, and this Dina, he reads the name back, if this Dina can verify that friend Askel is who he says he is, you may take possessions of this wealth.
Askel will also just follow on with it. My lady Dina is one of the very prominent in Shabibi and is one of the largest traders in spices and luxury goods, so it should be very easy to confirm. She is my mistress, and I am always indebted to her and have ties to her. So yeah, she'll know exactly who I am.
Very good. Shall we proceed?
I think Severin will just look round at everyone just to check that they're happy.
Yeah, because Nicholas wouldn't have been following any of this because Herod.
Yeah, okay. I think then in that. Sorry, because Severin would say, a moment, if you wouldn't mind. I need to explain our conversation to our friends who don't speak Herodanian.
Okay.
And so Severin will now. Nicholas, what do you speak?
Westron, Elberinian, South Tongue, and Bubronic. So nothing useful, I don't think. But I think.
Okay. Well, he'll explain in South Tongue to you.
Awesome.
About what's transgressed, and try and ascertain if what you think of that.
That's good. If we're aiming to go to the inn recommended by our friend, I think he scratches his head. We're suddenly in Jebi Retana, but he does have a vague memory of a friend recommending an inn a long time ago. either the Grand Bazaar Lodge or the Bronze Mace. If we want to aim for that recommendation, then do we want to be staying in the inn that we're going to be using for a message, or do we not? Basically, is.
I see.
But to ask if they're going to guide us to a place of lodging, if we want to stay in the inn, we're going to be messaging in.
No, it's more the bit about the bank.
Definitely. Go with that. We've got no choice.
I mean, because we could, request to move on. That would be the alternative.
I think we're good. I think if Askell's sure of a story, I think we're safe.
Yeah, very sure. And I think that'd be Askell's sort of presence in the room, like very relaxed, very confident in what he's spoken to about as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay, I'm just a bit concerned that obviously they could just retrieve all this cash. And we'd have no...
I think that if they're verified, it sounds to me like if they're verified Askell's connections, they might not dare.
Maybe.
They're hopefully very religious people. If they don't follow their faith, they can be punished by instant death. So that gives me a lot of trust in them.
I don't know. Have you ever hung out on a Cairo market? I don't.
We could all pray together.
Good. Yes. And so, Chris, to recap, did he say that we would get a receipt?
Yes.
Can we go with them to the bank?
Yes.
Yes.
See where it's going? Yeah.
Yes.
Because the alternative is we just request, look, I think on the second thought, it might just go home and just teleport the hell out of here. But then we'd have to expose ourselves to the navigators and there'd be complications.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're already exposing ourselves personally. I mean,
Okay.
I think that this place will be watched, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, although we are disguising ourselves as best we can, Chris has mentioned, trying to...
Sure. Yep.
But yeah, we look bloody awful, so that should help.
All right. What do you do?
Okay, well, I guess we agree. Lead on.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll pray one more time. Just looking him in the eye and praying.
And he
Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
And he smiles. He smiles at you, and he said, "It is a breath of sweet delight, lady, to meet one as pious and justifiably pious and true to our faith." And
Flattery will get you everywhere.
And he said, "Very good," and he goes so far, actually, of taking a slight liberty of clapping Severin on the shoulder. He seems to have really taken quite a shine to Severin.
Would you mind me just rolling just a lie detection on his... when he said that... I just want to ascertain particularly about the money, just to get a sense of whether he was telling the truth or not.
Sure, go for it.
25.
It'll be masked.
That's good. His lie detection is plus 33. It's not great, but... And I'd like Tanya to do the same, if possible.
Sure. Yeah, Severin thinks he's telling the truth. Go for it, Tanya.
She's 50. 50, quick!
Don't have to worry about
Don't have to worry about that anymore. She's plus 44.
Okay. Yeah, both Severin and Tanya think he's telling the truth. Tanya, you're really, and Askell and Jada, the palms of your hands are really quite uncomfortable. Not agonizing, but they're itchy and they're sore.
Oh yeah, guys. So
There's something on them too.
Yeah, well, let's get out of here. Let's just... Okay, we'll go to the bank. Well, or maybe... we could ask that those that haven't got itchy palms go to the bank,
Give it on.
and those that have itchy palms get into their lodging quite quickly.
He so Fahad al Namla and two of his and 5 of his soldiers come with you. He takes it on himself actually, and escorts all of you out. And then that's it. Suddenly, you're out of and all of your equipment is there. All of the ingots is collected up in a sack, or several sacks actually. I mean, each one's pretty heavy. And you step out. And again, it's almost like stepping out of the portal or whatever it was that when you arrived, like a complete and utter assault on your senses. And yeah, there's just this absolute hubbub around you. People praying, carts rumbling past. Hang on. Yeah, a sec. I got a good one here. Animals in the marketplace. It is raining a reasonable amount. Again, this is quite a delight for you, considering you've spent so much time in the in-between, or whatever that place was.
Jungle.
There you go. A sec. And yeah, just around you was just a complete riot of colours and sights. And you can see up on screen a real mixture of people in this city. So definitely, without a doubt, a very strong mixture of Haradanian Arab types, but also as you walk around and as you walk through the marketplace, again on screen, a lot of people that appear to be of the Sun Kush, so the Easterlings, or what's the best description of them? We might call them Mongolian or Chinese or Japanese, but certainly of Asian type origins. Quite a few, a really, really strong mixture of people that appear to be from this kind of background. And also a decent number of what appear to be different kind of gods and icons in and around people's homes and shops. Again, kind of quite Arabic type, but also semi-Caucasian kind of people. The streets are, and you only go a short distance, by the way, to the bank, but this kind of fills you in with a sense of the type of place you're in. The streets are actually remarkably clean. It's busy, my goodness. You can hear the sounds of the market all around you, and animals and so on and so forth. It's certainly a busy place, but definitely quite clean, quite tidy, quite well ordered as well. Not a lot of litter on the streets. There is some poverty. There are some people begging, of course. There are beggars everywhere, but a lot less than you would see and have seen elsewhere in your travels. As well as Asian or people from I'm using Asian very loosely here, but people from the Sun Kush, or the Easterling Kings origin or ethnicity. There are also quite a few Caucasian type people, so people from the north or perhaps other parts of the world, but definitely they're in the minority. A few of them. What's a delight to you, particularly Jadar and Askell, is the sign of Kasan, one of the 3 major gods of El Tuma, the faith of the Empire of Thumazul. And Kasan is the god of there we go. Is the god of death and the most death and judgment, and the most kind of prominent of the 3 gods. Other sights and sounds as you're traveling through the market, just to give you a bit more of a flavour. Again, this kind of vibe, strange idols and things that you see on the streets. Again, what predominates, however, is the sign of the three, the sign of El-Tumar, and it is everywhere, all over the place. This is clearly a very religious town, at least for the El-Tumar faith, but there are clearly others as well. A bit more of a street scene. You come up, a little bit later on after visiting the bank, you crest a hill, and you get a view of the city, overlying the city. That's the kind of the vibe, the kind of the cityscape. A lot of mosques and minarets, and I'll show you some more of the city in a second. Very much the area that you're in is kind of a bazaar. All manner of things for sale. Good quality as well. The produce looks fresh and of high quality. The pottery, etc., appears to be, decent quality. More people selling. And indeed someone of perhaps Asiatic origin. And this is kind of a vibe. It's an overcast kind of day that you can see. This is a little bit actually out of the market. Just switch down the volume a little bit. There we go. That's a bit better. A very, very, very colourful, vibrant place. The weather not particularly nice, overcast as mentioned, and yes, it's raining. It's a delight actually, after being in between for so long, to actually smell things, to have the sensation of something that isn't either hot or cold, but actually feel the sensation of warmth. And it is quite sticky and quite humid here. You walk a very short distance through the marketplace, seeing those sights as described. You come to a very large, white, ornate building, clearly very heavily guarded, with a group of men that are wearing a different set of uniforms to the city watch. They nod as you come in. And after a relatively short period of time, perhaps half an hour or so, you are now all extremely hungry and extremely thirsty. Again, just reiterating that. And those that have got sore palms, kind of clenching their hands and rubbing their hands. But after a relatively short period of time, taken into a couple of interior rooms and some comments from Farhad al-Namla, and with various bank officials. The situation is described to the bank. The ingots are handed over. You're given a signed receipt and it's explained what's happening, as is Farhad al-Namla. He seems to be quite well known and seems to be relatively well liked in the bank. And after a relatively short period of time, you have a piece of documentation written in Haradanian, explaining that you deposited this amount of ingots, and that on the authority of Farhad al-Namla or the City Watch, on their approval, you as the rightful owners are allowed to take that wealth, or to take those ingots out of the bank. Farhad takes you to the, or leads you outside, or to the door of the bank. Wishes you well. He says it will take at least 10, well, probably at least 8, possibly 10 days to verify Askel's story. Please report back here to this watch house, or indeed any of the watch houses around the bazaar area, but this one is probably best. Ask for myself, but certainly your names and the details of your situation will be now well known and well logged. Assuming Askel's story checks out, within 8 to 10 days, you'll be given permission. And Farhad himself, he's taken a shine to Severin. Farhad himself will accompany you to the bank, and the ingots inside the bank will be yours. With that, he claps you on the shoulder, says farewell, and heads back to the post. There are 3 watchmen remaining with you. And with that, which where did you make a decision of a guest house, an inn, or something you're heading to?
I think Nicholas had a suggestion.
Oh, Nicholas would have to talk to Severin or Jada or Askell, but he is pretending to recall that a friend had recommended the Bronze Mace or the Grand Bazaar Lodge, and he's actually guessing perhaps the Grand Bazaar Lodge might be the one, as we're in the Grand Bazaar. That is, and just discussing quickly in South Town letters, if he wants to take the friend's recommendation and stay in the place the friend had recommended.
Severin asks if that's close.
There's certainly no Bronze Mace here, but yes, the Grand Bazaar Lodge. Yes, it's close, well known. It's a good inn. It's a good place to stay, reputable, and it has an excellent entertaining space as well. It's well known for bards and singers of songs and dancers, etc. Farhad says yes, that's a good choice. Private baths. There's even a place to exercise. It has its own bathhouse as well, and indeed a place to relax and indeed enjoy the waters of a pool on the very rooftop. It's a very nice establishment.
Splendid.
Sold at bathhouse.
Yeah, let's go there.
And
Okay.
food, hopefully.
Okay,
Jada says, good things come to those who wait.
excellent.
Oh, is there?
Amen.
Speaking with Fahad, noting that Jada is our only woman in our group. Is there a place for her in the Grand Bazaar as well?
Yeah, this is a free city, so this is one of the hundreds of free cities that predominate throughout this world. I'm just getting a bit of feedback there, just making sure that people making sure people have headphones, please, if you haven't. The prime consideration in the city, in any free city, how religious or otherwise, is can the person pay? Commerce and coin makes the world go round. Generally, each free city is slightly different, yes, but generally, commerce reigns supreme. So the fact, if Jada has coin, there is place for her.
Yeah, I was just confirming if there was any gender separation, segregation type concerns.
Good call, but no, it doesn't appear to be.
Yep, that's cool.
GM's heading to the loo. Back in a sec.
And once you're back, are we going to do the talk?
Oh, yes, 8:30.
Sorry, my alarm went off ages ago and I forgot. Sorry.
That's right. We might go for 9, actually, Pete. But,
Awesome.
yep, cool. Thanks.
Cool. I'll set an alarm for 9.
Oh, I better tell you guys what happened earlier.
Yeah, when
So-
you were trapped.
Yeah. So, while I was trapped, I turned into sort of like a person with a snout, and had a sort of could see two things. One was sort of horrible people in darkness, and one further up was light and beautiful people. And there was a voice saying, "This soul is mine." And I kind of,
Would that be a familiar voice?
yeah, sort of, vaguely, but all I can think is maybe it's related to something to do with the cloak I'm wearing. And then that's it. I
likely.
can't really remember why my hands are sore, but yeah, I was in a bad place then.
Seems likely.
Seems likely.
I
doesn't
think
it?
I think it's the people who failed that channeling resistance roll have got sore hands, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Might
I
be
suggest we keep them clenched till we get into an
Yeah.
enclosed space.
Yes, we came across bad things happening when we had lights coming out of us, didn't we? At the Oracle or something?
That was the other lot. Wasn't
Yes, it was the other lot, but I'm just saying, sort of
it? Yes. Yes,
godly
true.
symbols can be very upsetting to plans.
They can be. Let's not do that.
It's not.
I think we probably should get some clothes that will allow us to fit in a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Apart from getting ourselves cleaned up and spruced up, I think that would be wise.
Jada and Eskel can probably suggest some more blending clothes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
And perhaps a little bit of teach the others a little bit of etiquette as well. There was that local etiquette type stuff.
Yes,
And I believe Eskel is our new fashionista, isn't he?
Yeah, it's true with those earrings.
Gotta get those earrings on.
That's
Long
true.
roads.
Get them on.
Yeah.
And actually, GM, now you're back. Severin, at an appropriate moment when they have some downtime, Severin would like to recount their adventures in the jungle and the kingdom in some depth to Askel, so he's aware of it.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Very good. Actually, Pete, I might do our little 2 minute thingy right now. Yes.
2 minutes or 4 minutes?
4 minutes. Sorry. What I'll do is I will switch the market off. We'll have the sound of some rain. Yeah.
Oh.
What else are we hearing? We're hearing a merchant's cart. Stop the merchant's cart. There we go. We'll just hit. There we go. Some light rain. How about that, guys? All right. So, very quickly, for those viewers who may not be aware, partway through. Oh, and we've got the camels still going too. Let's switch the camels down. Okay. Every session we take a quick 4 minute breather, and we just discuss a quick insight into how a particular rule or mechanic works inside Rolemaster. So Rolemaster is a game originally from the 1980s. It's nowhere nearly as widely played now as it used to be, and it's a game that I and hopefully we love, but it is a bit of an obscure game, a bit of almost a vintage game now. So, bearing in mind that a lot of people know a lot about the rules, we take a couple of minutes to do a bit of a deep dive and a bit of a discussion on how a mechanic works. So, I don't know, Pete, if that was my 4 minutes starting, but let's say it's starting now. So, there we go. So, each session we put a little poll up online on the YouTube channel and ask people what kind of mechanic or what kind of rule do they want to learn about. And you can go back and watch previous videos to talk about other parts of the game. And I will be here's a bit of a teaser for anybody that's watching. In due course, it'll definitely be later in the year. I've got some travel coming up soon, but after the travel, I will be going through a very, very intensive how to play Rolemaster series of videos. So there'll be everything from making a character all the way through to how a combat works to all manner of stuff. So as a teaser, there'll be a full description of how the game works and creating a character, etc. coming up later on. Tonight is going to be really short and sweet, and it's on resistance rolls. So resistance rolls would kind of be, I think, the equivalent in D&D, Pete, Pete and Anthony is saving throws. I think that's the term. Is that right? Something similar.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So resistance rolls are a mechanic in Rolemaster that are used for a whole raft of different things, and they are kind of just as it sounds, really, to see if a character resists or is able to overcome a particular effect. The effect could be a spell. The effect could be poison. The effect could be a disease. The effect could be fear, for example. Can my character stand their ground before they run, or whatever. The mechanic's pretty basic. You see along the top. There's an attack level, there's the target level down the side, and to make or to resist that particular attack or roll or whatever it is, the defender needs to beat the attacker's number. So let's take a really basic example of a sleep spell, quite a common spell, I think, in D&D, but also in Rolemaster. Let's say, for argument's sake, the person that was casting the spell was a 6th level, and their target is a 3rd level. that person would need to, or that being, or that person, or that animal, whatever the target is, would need to make a 63 or better to resist that spell. Each of the different types of magic has a different stat or a statistic that's associated with it, as is poison or disease. So in poison and disease's case, you'd use Constitution. So if you have a Constitution bonus and someone is trying to poison you, you would get your Constitution to try to make that roll or fail, or to see if you make that or fail that roll. Certain races also have certain skills at resisting certain things. So, for example, some characters are actually better at resisting certain types of magic or resisting diseases. So part of the mechanic, as in kind of across fantasy in general, is elves tend to be very resistant towards disease, and as a result, elves tend to have quite high bonuses to resist disease, and a lesser bonus to resist poison. So that's it in essence. Just a simple table, and you use typically your stat to modify that depending on what the attack is. Often used for, as I say, spells, a charm spell, a sleep spell, a mind control spell, something like that. But yes, as could be if you pick up a rotten piece of fruit because you're desperate and you eat that, you might need to make a roll to see whether you get sick from eating that. Or if somebody strikes you with a poison sword, or there's poison in your wine, you would roll to see if you resist the poison.
It's 4 minutes.
And that's 4 minutes. That's it. That's pretty much resistance rolls. Yeah, I tend to use them. What would you say, guys? Do they come up a lot, a little in our games? A moderate amount? A bit? No.
I'd say,
A fair amount.
Yeah.
I'd say with Nicholas, a lot of his spells are resistance roll based.
Yeah.
Mental attack spells.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So it just depends on the situation, the GM. But yeah, pretty cool mechanic. Yeah, there we go. Actually, any questions from I don't usually do this, but any questions from my players? Does that kind of make sense? Is there anything that's kind of weird about that? Oh, because it's both these little kind of snippets of rules are both absolutely for people that are watching this channel for sure, but they're also for players, and there are some players that haven't played Rolemaster for a long time. There are some people like Brother Pete, who's been playing for how long, Pete? A while.
Oh. A while. Yes.
A while. There we go.
I was just going to say, we're going to because there's modifications to the resistance roll table for like a spell. Like if Nicholas is doing a spell, because his spell roll can come into it, can't it?
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. Good point. Thanks, Pete. So good points. So based on the success or failure of the spell, or neither, you can have a spell that kind of works or kind of doesn't. People will get a bonus or a minus to their resistance roll. So thanks for the reminder, Pete. If Nicholas rolls particularly well, the person that he's trying to cast a spell, a sleep spell, for example, on, or a mentalism spell or a mental-based spell, might have up to a negative 125 on their resistance roll. So the mechanic is you roll to see if the spell is successful, and then to see, as part of that success roll, yes or no, is also to see whether or not there is a modifier to the roll. So you can also, if you roll poorly, the person can end up getting a bonus to their to resisting their attempt. So if Nicholas rolls very badly, somebody might get a plus 70 to their resistance roll. They can always fail it, as is the case in Rolemaster. You can pretty much succeed or fail anything, but a successful spell roll will mean it's a lot harder for someone to resist a magic spell. Thanks for the reminder, Pete. Anything else, guys? Nope. Okay, very good. Back to the game. Okay, so, and hang on, let me get some distance, because you guys are heading a wee way away from the market at this stage. Yeah, we can hear a little bit of market. And we'll just put a little bit of camel. Go. Put a cart. Let's and there we go. All right, very good. So you set off with your three companions. Are we kind of doing anything, saying anything, anything I should, anything I should be aware of?
Hoods up.
Hoods up.
Yeah, just generally just want to get to where we're going without really drawing attention to ourselves.
Okay. Cool.
Nicholas would whisper just a question to either whoever's closest to him who speaks Haradran. Perhaps find out about the date. You know, sometimes travelling, we all know, sometimes travelling changes the date, so I don't think it's an unusual question. Someone who could ask one of the guards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Go on, no. Do it.
Yeah, Askell would just, just wander up to anyone, like someone in a stall or whatever, and just.
Oh, we've got guards with us.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Just casually talk to one of the, grab the attention of one of the guards and just make a bit of conversation. Just say, "Oh, we've been travelling so long, we've actually lost track of the date." Just to make sure we're reorientated. Would you mind just updating us what day it is?
Yes, of course, friends. And good to hear you're from Jebi. My aunt, sister's, cousin's, roommate's dog's best friend was from Jebi. She says it's lovely. Today
Woof.
is woof. Today is the 11th, Queen's Day, the 11th of moons.
Okay.
I see, but that makes it clear.
Yeah.
You
Thanks.
Askell will look at Severin and
No, look at Nicholas.
Nicholas then.
9 days.
9 days.
9 days.
Oh, I should tell you guys, everyone here honours the dead, and they're big on family honour, so don't be messing with any graves and family honours.
Just keep our heads down. Keep walking.
anything?
Askell will just thank the guard and and for his kind words about my home city.
Yes, my aunt, sister's girlfriend's mother's roommate's dog says she'd love to go back anytime she can, because it's great. They have rebuilt after the massive earthquake, but very, very nice. Yes, strange story about you being in the forest. Very odd. You're weaving your way through. You're heading a little bit away, kind of from the bazaar, kind of round the side of it. You're heading through an area. You wouldn't call it necessarily down at heel, but definitely some of the buildings aren't quite as nice as the immediate bazaar area, and it's definitely quieter. And you're heading through an alleyway, and all of a sudden there's a crash from behind you, a thud, and then this god-awful noise. Spinning around, you see this has just landed behind you. Massive thing. It would stand probably kind of mid-chest. And here's the situation. It's landed, it's leapt off a balcony or a rooftop or something. It's landed in an alleyway, and at one end, kind of hemmed in, is this man and this man looking utterly terrified. I'll show you the situation. There we go. So,
One you prepared earlier.
So I was hoping that grumbling sound was our stomachs.
I really didn't like that snarl, actually.
Did we forget to close the portal or something?
Yeah,
Who was out
Yeah,
last?
I didn't like the snarl either. So,
that's a
you know
bit.
that one.
Oh, that one's
don't
much
like that
better.
Yeah, that one's much better. So, and much more. Should have gone with a raw.
It's more frightful.
So this thing, you're not sure. So you're walking in this direction. You've got 1 guard here, 2 here, 3 here, and I just completely randomly selected where I placed the 6 of you. This thing has. You don't know where it's come from, but you heard kind of a clattering and noise from over here, and then this kind of thud as it landed, and these 2 workmen, one here and one here. This thing has landed on the ground, kind of plop here, and is kind of, it's just literally just landed, and is, I don't know, call it, who's the closest? That's actually, Nicholas is the closest. About 13 foot away from Nicholas, right next to these guys, like 5 foot away from them, and is just, is just pacing. It hasn't, it's just landed, and you have all turned to see what on earth that was. We're going into, whoops. We're going into rounds. Oops. Initiative. Jada, you've spun on your heel. You've just seen this thing. It's some distance away from you. There's at least Nicholas and a guardsman in between you and it. What do you do? That's a much better roar. Hello, Jada. You there?
Yes.
Or are you talking to yourself?
Sorry.
What do you do?
This needs a double prayer. So, well, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Okay.
And turn around to you guys and say, "Well, we all die someday." And so I'm in the front there, am I? I'm gonna
You're
run.
Here. You're here.
Oh, I'm back there by the barrel. I'm just gonna run and grab a barrel, ready to roll.
Okay. So you run over here.
By those barrels, yeah.
Tell me where.
See the barrels? Yeah. Next to one, so I can grab it.
They're pretty big, but okay.
Just a roll.
Okay. Cool. Done. Next up is Gray.
Gray as a beastmaster would be very interested in this beast. So he would probably slowly walk towards it, without trying to do anything too dirty to draw its attention, and then he would be getting ready. He would be preparing for a sleep spell.
Okay. So preparing allows you 10% action, so you can walk. How far? Yeah, how far can you walk, please?
You probably get to where.
No. You need to. So if you look at his base movement rate, tell me what 90% of his base movement, or 10% of his base movement rate is.
If he was to wait, where's your base? It's 55, so he can walk 5 meters, I guess, 5 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So he heads up to about there. Okay, and starts preparing. Cool. Done. Askell.
Askell would be
Popped you here, by
looking at looking over his shoulder to see where Grey is, and he wouldn't move, but he would sort of. He'd say, Grey, I believe you're up on this one.
All yours, buddy.
And equally, just looking to the guard who's at the front and say, "Do we need to be concerned? Have you got this?"
Okay.
Yeah, and just a little bit. He's not necessarily pulling out his weapon or anything, but just seeing what the guard's reaction is. Yeah.
Done. Sure thing.
Oh man, maybe I could ride this. Maybe this could be my horse.
Nicholas.
Say a prayer.
Don't kill it.
Nicholas, what are you doing?
Same as Grey, except moving back. So he would turn to face it. Well, no, he would sidle. He would sidle 6 foot, which is his 10% of his movement. So he would like to be on the other side of Grey if possible.
Yep.
And he'll prepare.
That's
But
10,
then after he's finished sidling, he would turn to face it.
Yep, done. Okay.
But yeah, he's valiantly. We talked about him not being a hero, and therefore he'll let the heroes kindly let the heroes take the front.
All right, cool. Tanya.
Well, similarly, wants to immediately quiz the guard. What is this? While she gets the bow off her back.
Okay.
And just ascertaining their reaction. I don't know whether this is somebody's pet or whether it's a bit weird, isn't it? In the middle of a city, so you know what's going on.
Okay.
And just sussing out how the guards react.
Cool. So she gets to act before the guard, but she's checking them out. Got it. And she's takes her 2 rounds to string a bow. Is she in the process of stringing?
Yeah.
Okay. Severin.
I guess he'll. Where is he?
I randomly popped him here. Oops, here.
All right, so he'll move up. Who's ahead of him there?
So to zoom in, we have Askell, Severin, Jada by a barrel, Tanya, Nicholas, Grey, and a guardsman at the back.
Okay, so Severin will move to the front of our group. So he's alongside Grey. And draw his weapon. But is kind of a bit confused by the situation, not really expecting this in a city. Mm-hmm. So it's just seeing to how the guard reacts.
Okay, sure. All right. So the guardsman here just looks horrified, gets his spear up, and terrified, and backs his way up against the wall. Maybe not. Yeah, no, he's looking pretty nervous, and kind of comes up. He's got his spear leveled at this thing, his shield up, and yeah, definitely pointy bit towards this creature.
How big is this creature?
It's pretty big. It stands probably, I'd say, kind of shoulder, mid-chest. That's probably a bit high. That's too high. Shoulder height would be kind of top of your stomach. Yep.
Right.
It's big.
Okay.
It's big. And
big lion.
Yeah, really big. Really big. And powerful. Lithe and powerful. And then from up behind, yeah, these two cautiously move up with spears kind of leveled at this, pointing in this direction. And they're just going. They're speaking to each other in Haradanian. So Jadar and Askell, you can obviously understand, but the general tone of the conversation is, "What the hell is that?"
Right.
What type of horse?
Yes, these two workmen here. This guy appear to be Easterling folk, are absolutely petrified and have backed their way, perhaps not surprisingly. Looks like the map's not going to let me, but have backed themselves totally up to as far as they can on that wall. This creature just it does actually snarl and just takes a step in their direction. Certainly hasn't done anything particularly aggressive, but it's moving towards them and it's sniffing. And it pauses here and... Oops. Yeah, just definitely glances round at the rest of the party.
Can I hypnotize animals? Like horse-like animals?
You can certainly try.
Oh, you say that? Can I give it a go?
Absolutely. That's the thing about this game. You can try anything.
All right. Can I do it from far away? Okay, so I've got my rope out of my bag, ready for like reins, and I'll just try and hypnotize it. Do I have to roll?
When it comes to you, let's find out. If you have a look at the... Have you got a description of the spell, of the skill?
Hypnotism?
Yes.
Just on my list there, it just says plus 56.
Pete or Anthony, could you look up the definition of hypnotism, please? Thank you. Because each skill has a particular way it works.
Bonus? Do you want it now?
Oh, you got it now? Sure.
Bonus for placing a willing individual into a trance where they are responsive to suggestions.
Oh.
An unwilling individual's natural resistance roll is doubled.
Once probably not willing.
The individual can be told to forget that they have been placed under hypnosis. The individual can also be primed to perform some type of task, which is triggered by a word, gesture, or person, etc.
Okay, never mind. It's probably not willing. I'll wait till I know if it's willing.
Sorry, what was the thing about willing and unwilling, Pete? I missed that.
Bonus for placing a willing individual into a trance where they are responsive to suggestions. An unwilling individual's natural resistance roll is doubled.
Got it. There you go.
Wow.
I'm going to paste that into the chat.
Cool.
Or party law, maybe?
Rules. There's a rules. There's a
rules.
rules.
The rules.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
I'll give it a go.
Cool. All right. So this thing appears to be very fast and kind of is pacing. It actually moves a bit this way, and is just sniffing and looking.
All right.
It's aware of some children down the ends. You see it look at it, and there's another group of people down here that see this thing and freak out and start running in this direction. Or not running, moving back in this direction. And this thing is just kind of pacing around. It's definitely keeping a very keen eye on these two men here. Seems to have taken either a like or a dislike to them. But hasn't made any aggressive move yet. Gray, you're up next. You're prepared for one round.
Cool. Yeah, well, he would definitely be interested in casting the sleep spell. If you can.
Go for it.
Okay. Let me... 23?
33, here we go. We were doing...
Oh, no, 7-3. 7-3.
Oh, 7-3. Nice.
Yeah.
So, hey, we were doing resistance rolls and so forth earlier on. Great use. What level is Gray, please? He is...
A level 7 now.
Or is he? Because he hasn't slept yet.
Oh, he hasn't slept, so he's a 6.5.
There you go, 6.5. He's looking forward to that sleep, I tell you.
He is.
Okay. So, what was the roll, please?
7-3. 73.
73, cool. The range is 15 foot, so neither a bonus nor a minus.
His range is 100 foot, I think.
Oh no, so that's it. But you can,
okay.
But if you're up close, you get a bonus. If
he's
you're
hand gesturing, he's gesticulating.
Yep. Which will give him plus 10 from memory.
15. He's an essence user, right?
Yes, he is.
If he's shouting and gesturing, is he shouting?
Well, he doesn't need. I don't think he needs to shout. It's more of like a.
That's the one that gives. So there's two things that can give you a bonus.
He's shouting. He's shouting.
So the shouting and the gesturing combined will give you plus 15.
Yep.
Cool. All right.
That's what he's doing.
That is what he's doing. That's a good roll. Okay. So, no, I don't. Oh, I do sometimes. Don't always, but I do sometimes, and I am on this occasion. This critter needs to roll a. Or first of all, the spell was. Oops. There we go. Spell was successful. This creature needs to roll. I don't always say it, but I am on this occasion. Needs to roll a 92 or better. Is the roll. Exclamation mark. Space D100. That was a good roll by Gray. Here we go. Coming at you.
Oh my goodness, no!
Damn it! Damn! It should have gone down.
Should have gone down.
It continues. It continues pacing, Gray. That is just bad luck.
Just smile at it and
Just
look good-natured.
It does seem to take an interest in you and starts to walk a bit closer in this direction. Next up, Askell. You're back here. Safely tucked away at the back.
Yeah, that seems like a good spot. I'll just
Brave Sir Rascal.
I'll talk to the guards in front of me. Just ask them, what is it? What can we do? What's happening?
Okay. They kind of yelling back. I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know what it is, but it looks hungry and dangerous. And yeah, I'm not sure. Says one. I mean, he's looking. You know, they are at least doing their guard-like duty and beginning to. Another one is kind of pushing his way up. This one here is hanging back a little bit. But yeah, they don't look very happy. Don't know what it is. Do something.
Okay.
Run for help.
Okay. I would just relay that onto to our group in whatever the language we're using. Was it Westron? Just to make sure everyone knows.
South Tongue.
South Tongue. That hey, yeah, the guards don't all know what it is, so proceed with caution.
Okay. Jada, you're by your barrel. What do you do?
Oh, goodness me. Thank goodness no one killed it. So, just praying as usual. Everything happens for a reason. So I'm going to try and hypnotize it.
Okay.
So I'm just going to, it's obviously unwilling. But yeah, just going to try and hypnotize it that it's actually a horse and it's my horse, and it's to be harmless and loyal.
All right. You are a distance of 13 foot away. So
Yeah, I'll just say it really loud. Not going any closer.
Okay.
Make me go closer.
Give me a roll, please.
Okay, I've had bad rolls all night, so I'm really positive about this.
Excellent.
Where are we? Come on, dice. 72
Not bad. 72. What's her bonus, please, with hypnotism?
plus 56.
Okay. Pete, can you, if you've got the definition of the spell, could you just read it out one more time, please? And does it explain the mechanic of? I've never done a hypnotism before in this game.
It doesn't. I don't think it explains the mechanic. It's just bonus for placing a willing individual into a trance where they are responsive to suggestions. An unwilling individual's natural RR is doubled.
Yep.
Once under, the individual can be told to forget that they have been placed under hypnosis. The individual can also be primed to perform some type of task, which is triggered by a word, a gesture, a person, etc.
Okay, sure
That's
thing. I don't even know if humans can hypnotize animals, but there we go. Okay. All right. So describe what happens, please, Jada. What do you do?
So the suggestion I'm going to give to this creature is that it's actually a horse, a friendly horse. It's my horse, and I own it, and it's loyal to me, and it's a kind horse, and it will serve me and not become unhypnotized, and let me ride it, and no one else.
And you're doing this, like, how you're just staring at it? Or tell me what she's actually doing. She's saying, is she
I
speaking
pulled out a medallion. Wait, do I have one? Oh, I hope I have one. I do. I have a medallion of heavy metal. Perfect. So I'm just swinging that
Excellent.
at my horse.
Okay.
And the key word will be, oh goodness. Oh gosh. Manamana.
Nice.
What's a horse word?
Nay.
Nay. Okay. That's the word. Nay.
So
When I say nay.
this gigantic thing kind of takes a good stare around at all of you, and then stalks. These guys are up against the wall. They are not budging. Stalks, and it kind of snarls again over its shoulder at you.
Winnies.
Walks up to this wall and lifts its right hind leg and begins to urinate on the wall.
Do horses do that?
I don't know.
My horse does. Oh no, I think it's a dog. Might be a dog.
I think it probably is a type of dog anyway.
A dog, damn it.
Don't know if the mixed messages or something happened there. Nicholas.
Nicholas will try a mind invasion on it.
Just don't kill it.
Fantastic.
Give me a roll, please.
This is where we see Nicholas's true self.
Oh,
No, it's
Gray,
not.
by the way,
Woo!
Gray, by the way, you were lucky. I forgot to minus your only one round of prep, negative 15 last time. But I am going to apply it. I'm sorry to you, Pete. Go for it.
Aw. 79.
Good roll, 79. Yep.
He's level 6.5 too.
Yeah. Negative 15. All right.
Plus 12 for base spells.
Plus 12 for base spells. Thank you. Cool. All right. All right. First of all, the spell is a success. The spell goes off. What happens, Pete?
Oh, so it's got to make a resistance roll?
Yeah, it did. Didn't make it. Didn't make it.
Okay, this is there's two parts to this. Mind invasion is based on mind lock. Mind lock is caster and target are locked in a mental contact until the caster ceases concentration, or either the caster or the target has a resistance roll failure of 30 or greater. Resistance rolls must be made against each other every round. So it's not a great spell, because he's got to keep maintaining it. The one failing by 30 becomes unconscious. So please pick him up if that happens. And Mind Lockers neither can take any action, but he's done Mind Invasion, which is as Mind Lock, except target is frozen in mental combat. The target can take no actions, but caster may perform 50% of their normal activity.
Okay. So
it duck.
So this thing is literally mid lifting up its leg, and it just freezes.
Nicholas will say, I've stopped it. It can't. Hopefully, it can't do anything. Let's incapacitate it. With his 50% of his action.
Okay.
And if I collapse, it's free. Take me with you.
Love the
Get your reins on it.
Well, this is a safe enough environment to try this.
Tanya, your turn. You've had one round stringing your bow. You got one more. Are you saying anything while you're doing this action? Probably got a bit of. You could say something while you're stringing if you wish.
I should say to Severin, have you got your chain and padlock still? She would say she has some rope. So I guess as she might. Yeah, she might abandon the bow and actually get her rope.
Okay.
Can she see anything that she could tie the beast to?
Yeah. There are several kind of solid bits of structure and wood around here. There's a decent piece of timber over here that you could as well. Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah, there's a piece of timber here. That's the part of this wall has fallen down, and there's an exposed beam on the corner by that window. She thinks she could probably loop something around there, and it looks reasonably solid.
All right, she'll do that.
Okay, so she's ditching the bow and she's getting her rope out of the pack. Is that right?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Next up is so this guy seems to have recovered his valor, is leveling his spear at it, and he hasn't. Yeah, he's bravely kind of moved up in between these two labourers here. Severin, your turn.
Well, Severin will drop his pack and try and get his chain out while exclaiming that they may be able to chain it to the window frame. Yes, this is currently incapacitated.
Okay. I should have asked for a perception roll, but never mind. But yep, okay, cool. So, what's he doing with the sword?
I'll have to sheath it.
Okay, cool. Take probably... Yeah, round sheath the sword. Oh, you can sheath the sword and get the stuff out of his pack in one round. Yep, cool. This chap here has moved up and is encircling it. Fair to say, these guys are working hard for their money today. They leveled their spear at this thing, and it's quite weird. It's just kind of got its leg cocked. And is utterly motionless.
And does Severin think they heard him?
How long does the earbuds work for, please?
Speech true.
Yep.
From memory, I think it was an hour, wasn't it, Pete?
I think it is an hour.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Has it been an hour? I'll say it hasn't, but you're just on the margins of coming up to an hour by the time you've arrived, done bank stuff, and yeah, I'll say you're just on an hour, but yeah, soon about to go off. And that is the end of the round. Next round. So this thing gets a roll every round. Is that right, Pete?
We roll every round. Yep.
You roll again every round? Yes, you do.
Sorry. I'll just read it. The spell lasts until either the caster or the target has a resistance roll failure of 30 or greater. Resistance rolls must be made against each other every round.
Must be rolled against each other each round. Does that mean... But it's not like you cast the spell again.
I don't think so. I just think we make... Can you put resistance roll like my level against its level sort of thing? Or do we just do a resistance roll? I don't know.
That is strange. Does it just simply attempt to make a resistance roll each round, and if it succeeds or fails, we go with that? Read it again, please, Pete, for the third time. I'm sorry.
No, it's a weird one, eh? The caster or the target has a... the spell ends if either the caster or the target has a resistance roll failure of 30 or greater, and in brackets, resistance rolls must be made against each other every round.
Rolled against each other? That doesn't make actually much sense to me. I think it should just... What would you be resisting against? Like, I get why it's resisting against you, but what would you be resisting against?
I suppose I'm maintaining the spell.
Yes.
So it's a concentration spell.
Yes. Okay.
So
Okay.
It's like a mental battle sort of thing.
Yes. Okay. So that makes some sense. But
we've got to fail by 30 or more. So it's not, if it passes, it doesn't... I don't think passing means it breaks the spell.
Yep.
It's got to fail by more... or it has got to fail by more than 30.
All right. Okay, cool. All right. And this resistance rolls are always open-ended. So let's... this is... I've never come across where both parties have had to roll each round. So let's go for this. It needs to roll an 80 or better because you rolled very well at the initial spell roll. So that initial spell roll continues. It's not like you have to roll the spell again, I think. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm happy with that because that gives me a better chance. But the way I think it works is, so the spell continues and it has continued to be locked.
Yes.
Until either me or it fails a resistance roll by 30 or more.
I get that. But we need to get a number that the resistance roll is based around.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. Happy with that.
And we're going, and because otherwise you'd have to re-roll the spell cast each round, which is not happening because the spell's already been cast. So therefore the original resistance roll numbers stand, I think.
But wouldn't it just be on the resistance roll table we just looked at, my level versus its level?
Oh,
and
okay.
And then we roll, and if we go 30 below what we needed to get, then we failed.
Yeah, okay. Or we could do it that way. Yeah, actually, that's probably...
I prefer the other way, because that's a better chance for Nicholas.
All right, well, funnily enough, your level and its level is exactly the same. It's 50.
Oh, it's 6.5.
It's 6.5. It's 6, you're 6, which means that resistance roll for both of you is 50.
So anyone who rolls a 20 or lower
breaks it.
Yep.
Go for it.
Oh. So am I rolling first?
Go for
it. Yeah, I rolled a 10.
No way. Oh.
But is it possible that it could roll it under 20 and go unconscious as well?
Yeah, let's find out.
It won't, but that's all right. Sorry, everyone.
For dramatic effect, ! RD100. Here he comes. So just to like make sure that we're all ready here. This animal has just been locked, and it's aware that someone has tried to invade its mind. It's probably not going to be very happy about that. And you've just passed out, Nicholas.
It doesn't know it was me.
If this creature rolls under 20, it will pass out. If not, however, the spell will cancel. Correct?
Correct.
So no pressure here, guys. No pressure
Well.
here.
Pray hard.
No pressure here at all. Coming at you right now. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Woo!
Hey.
Hooray!
Yay!
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Well, Nicholas passed out because he was so hungry. I don't know what it's.
So
We should eat this thing.
Yeah.
Next, the next split second after it was paused there, urinating, Nicholas, first of all, you just collapse on the ground with a kind of thud, and then a second or two later, not even that, a split second, probably at the same time actually, this thing also collapses on the ground. Does it give any indication how long you're out for?
No, it just says becomes unconscious.
Becomes unconscious, which means you could wake up, either of you could wake up at any time. Alright, cool. GM's just going to roll to see how long it and you are unconscious for. Click. Okay.
Who's hungry?
All right. Wham! So it's just collapsed on the ground. Next up is Gray. Your spell, it was a damn good attempt, but it didn't quite work. And then this thing is just kind of circled around. Nicholas has done something weird, as Nicholas does, and then this thing has collapsed. Gray, what do you do?
Well, he'd be kind of confused. Yeah, I'm not sure what he would do. He would probably be a bit concerned for the animal as well as for his friend. Does he see? We can see his friend, see Nicholas fall down, wouldn't he?
No, because you've got his back. You've got your back to him, but you hear the sound of someone collapsing.
Probably he. Well, if he heard the sound of someone collapsing, he'd probably turn to see him, and then just kind of try to revive him. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Smack him around the face. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Askell, you've just seen this unfold. You've seen Nicholas collapse. You've seen a urinating cat collapse. What do you do?
Askell would move up to seeing Nicholas collapsing. He would just move forward just to help comfort him. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just keeping an eye out, having noticed that the creature's also collapsed. But
okay.
Yeah, he just assists with Nicholas.
Okay, cool. Cool. Next up, Jada. You're probably standing side on, so you've probably caught a glimpse of Nicholas go down, and you've certainly seen this animal collapse. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm hungry and I'm thinking like creature kebabs. So can I just grab my dagger and stab it? I'm supposed to sacrifice a small animal once a year, so this looks small compared to some of the ones we've fought.
Yeah. So, 15 foot.
Oh, well,
So you can definitely draw your dagger, which is a 20% action, and you can walk up to it very easily in less than 50% of your action. The way this game usually works is to slay a being that is helpless. I usually just simply say make an attack, and so long as you don't fumble, you can basically perform what is known as a coup de grace. However, this is a very large animal. Is that appropriate on this? What do you think? Yeah, what do you think, guys? Be curious on your opinion.
I think it would take longer.
Yeah, there's guards in the way as well.
No. Well, Jada's got enough action to do that, and there is enough. There is enough room for her to walk up. So it's less about the guards in the way. It's just more.
I just wonder if actually finding a vein, artery, a vulnerable place, might take longer on a larger animal.
Oh, no, I'm a medic.
Oh, true.
This thing,
out for blood.
giant heart.
What happened to Jada? She used to be really nice.
She's hungry. She can eat like a horse.
She's got a devil inside her.
I'm 6'7". I'm starving.
Yeah, but we're in the middle of a city. You can eat whatever you like.
There's children.
Never look a dead gift horse in the mouth. No, this is a dinner. No.
I would have thought Gray might caution her against it. Having come from a circus, it could be a circus animal.
Be like, no.
Okay.
I don't know
It could be worth a lot of money to someone.
You're probably right. Yeah.
Well, no, Jada, you've said that's what you want to do. If you want to do it,
well, what if it doesn't die?
Well, that's what I'm. Kind
You're
of
really angry.
That's what I'm. So, I think to be fair, so if it was a humanoid-sized being that the anatomy of an orc or a goblin or a human being or something like that, yes, just a simple non-fumble result would mean that you'd killed it. That's the way I've always played this game. I do think the more I think about it, having such a large creature, I think you would probably need to make an attack on it. The way I do it, here we go, is I'd say you'd need to make an attack on it. You would have a significant bonus to attack, and unusually you would have a bonus on the critical. So I'd give you a plus 40 on the crit, except it would be a large creature crit. So so your chances of hitting it are almost assured. Your chance of doing it a fatal blow, you might, because you'd get plus 40 on the roll, but it's a risk you'd have to take. Up to you if you want to take it.
What do you guys think?
No.
Okay.
I would caution.
Okay, no food for us.
Sure, Janet. Now, hey, the GM of course doesn't influence you anyway. That's your decision. Your character, your decision.
I'll stick with what the team said. They've been around here longer than me.
Okay.
I reckon some merchant or trader will be very pissed off. We've just killed its.
Well, we don't actually know what it is either.
Yeah, I'm just worried that we let that in through the portal and we're going to get in trouble. Also, maybe we might look like heroes if we do that, because it might kill those children. But yeah, who knows?
Well, I mean, I don't know if Jada heard Severin say that they were going to try and tie it up, but yeah.
Okay, let's carry on with that.
Big trading city, I believe it's just an exotic animal that's got loose.
Okay.
Let's turn into
If
it.
it does wake up, though, then definitely give him a good stabbing.
Start a pandemic, couldn't it? These exotic animals and markets. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well. Oh. Yeah.
So give the GM
Stand down.
ideas.
Stand down.
So Jody, you're standing over it with a dagger at this stage. That's where I've got you. All right.
Yep.
Nicholas, you're out cold. Tanya, you dropped your bow. That's 0 action last round. You start rummaging your pack. I'm going to say that Tanya, you've got your rope in your hand.
Does she like to move forward and urge characters standing around to help her tie this thing up?
Okay.
So she try. I think it's got. Where's the? Let's have a look at the picture.
Oh,
Oh, there isn't one.
there's one. No, there's one here. Actually, I'll pop it into chat as well. She'll pop a bunch into chat.
So basically, I think Tanya would like to urge someone to help her, like possibly bind. Christ, it's not going to help, is it? Yeah, I think she'd probably loop the rope round the window thing first.
Okay.
And tie that off, and then once she's done that, she'd then focus her attention on the animal itself.
Okay. Does she have a rope mastery skill? Is she good at tying?
Not particularly, no.
Okay. That could be interesting.
Well, I know she can tie knots.
Yep. Okay. Tick. Just adding some imagery in. Alright, so in one round, I think a round per knot is reasonable if she's doing a decent job. Could you give me an agility check, please? Just tying a knot under pressure.
22.
Plus
Agility 35.
35. Cool. Okay. Yeah, she heads up, rounds by this kind of window frame, loops the rope through, ties it. She thinks pretty tightly. She thinks it's reasonably tightly tied on. That's her round.
Okay.
This guy here comes up and is kind of covering it with his spear, and he's not shouting, but he's basically saying, yeah, what happened? Why did it go down? What happened to it? In Haradanium. This guy. No, next one is Severin. Severin, what do you do?
So he would like to do likewise, except loop the chain around an appropriate. If it can be a different mullion or whatever it is there, that would be good.
What word did you just use?
Oh, it's like a part of a window.
Mullion. I've never heard that before. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or if it's preferably another.
Unfortunately,
rather than the same one.
Unfortunately, that's it. In this immediate vicinity, that is it.
All right. Then he'll loop it around the same thing.
Yep.
And he's got a padlock and chain. So, do you remember when back in the day on the way to Narth, he did something similar with a large dog?
Yes. Yes.
So he wants to do that. He wants to do that again.
Cool. Okay. So first up, let him loop it round, and.
Yep.
He doesn't have to tie a knot, so I'll give him a bit more action. So he's looped it round while Tanya's tying her knot. What's he doing with his remaining time?
Well, if he's able to do that, then he'd like to try and loop it around one of the legs.
Okay. Okay, he reaches down and touches this thing. I mean, could you give me a quick perception roll, please?
Yeah.
Probably one from Tanya too, actually.
85.
Must, of course.
And 3 from Tanya.
Cool.
The 80 from Severin's perception's quite good, plus 69.
Yeah. He and Tanya, and probably Jada at this point, spot very clearly that this thing has a large golden collar on it.
So it's someone's pet. It might be unhappy if we kill it. Yes. Can he point that out?
Yeah. Yep.
So I think he would point that out to the soldiers.
Yep.
And say, yeah, I think this is someone's pet. Let's see if we can capture it. Can you help me?
Okay. So this guardsman here cautiously puts down his spear, reaches down and helps. He kind of lifts the very, very heavy back paw, back paw, while Severin loops the chain around. Whether or not, probably needs to go around the entire body, or you don't know. Maybe you can start with the leg. But yes, he's giving you a hand.
Okay.
Yep, sorry.
And then if he has done that, he'll secure the padlock on it. Yeah.
That'll be next round.
Okay.
This chap here, seeing the creature's gone down, wastes absolutely no time and scarpers. And this guy does exactly the same. They are out of here. That's the end of that round. Next round. Okay. Yeah, this thing at your... Well, I was going to say at your feet, but you're kind of holding on to it, and Severin and Jada, Tanny, you're about to. It's kind of shifted. It's moved. It hasn't opened its eyes yet, but it's kind of tossing its head from side to side. You suspect it may not be unconscious for much longer. Jada, you're standing over your companions and this creature with a dagger in your hand. What are you doing?
Oh gosh, I'm going to ask all the others what they're thinking. Should we just escape? Are we leaving it there?
If you could help, that would be good.
Oh, we're still not done. Oh yeah, yep. I've got a rope.
And then we can run away. Well, maybe not a new rope. Just to, we've got one rope and one chain, and do our best and bugger off quick.
Yep. I'll give you a hand doing that.
Okay. So helping Tanya and or Severin with both a chain and
finish the tying up. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Askell, you and Gray are kind of fanning Nicholas and slapping around the face. Are you doing anything else?
No, because I was going to say we don't have any water. Well, probably just maybe get him up to next to the wall just to prop him up.
Okay.
See if that helps.
Okay.
Yeah, and just patting on the hand, the old there. Thinking this would be a good opportunity for perhaps Jada or maybe to do something, but no. Otherwise, just
Cool.
Looking after Nicholas.
Nice one. Gray, you're up.
Sorry. Now that this is propped up against the wall, I think he'd probably be moving towards the beast to see if he could assist.
Yeah, certainly giving your companions a hand to either use a chain or a rope, would be useful. Okay. All right.
Yep, he'd want to be close as well in case he has to try for another spell.
Done. All right. So the remainder of this round, both Gray, it's a short distance for you to move, and then lend a hand. What with Jadar's assistance, Tanya, Severin, and this guardsman, definitely help. And within the remaining 10 seconds or so, you've fastened both a chain and a rope around this thing, and you think it's reasonably secure. And pretty much just in the nick of time, this thing suddenly springs to its feet and roars, not once, twice. It is really, really not liking being tethered. It's strong too. You all jump back a little bit. The restraints that you've put on it seem to be pretty good. But yeah, that part of this kind of rotting, crumbling wall, it is beginning to pull the bit of wood out from under it. It is the next round. Initiative.
I think Gray would be keen to try another spell.
Yep. Jada, you're up first.
What was that about a spell?
Gray would be keen to cast another spell, but it's
what does Jada do?
I'm just going to stand back.
Okay. It is Gray's turn.
Cool.
Go for it.
Okay. I think he would be interested in casting another sleep spell.
Sure thing. Give me a roll.
$61.
61. Now, unfortunately, no prep this time, so negative 30.
No. Yeah.
What is the distance? The distance.
Close.
It is pretty close. Is it within 10
Some
foot?
hand waving.
It is within 10 foot. You get a bonus for that.
Nice.
You get a plus 10. You get a plus 30 if you want to touch it.
Go on.
What's that?
Yeah, he'll touch it.
You want to touch it?
Yeah.
I was joking, but are you serious?
Well, it can attack on him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't its legs kind of changed up?
Not its mouth, though.
Do you touch it, Gray, is my question.
Yeah. I thought its legs were tied up, like, so it couldn't really swipe or anything.
It's got one... It's definitely incapacitated, for sure. But it's... it's got two hind legs that are... Actually, I don't think Tanya actually said where she was tethering the critter, so I'm going to assume two hind legs. So it's definitely incapacitated. It would be at a minus, but it's still got a working mouth and two front legs.
Yeah, maybe not, though. Yeah, he's pretty mad.
He can if he likes. Absolutely, if he wants to.
It looks like it's facing him, so if it was facing away, he'd probably be keen, touch his bum. But it looks like it's looking at him. But he's just gonna do it from here.
All right. 56 is the plus your yelling and screaming.
I was 61.
Yes, yeah, true, but with the
but with the minuses, yes.
Yep. Let me just check that. 61 plus 10 for range, plus 15 for gesticulation. Oops, hang on. 61 plus 10 for range, plus 15 for gesticulation, negative 30 is a 56. All told. All right. It has to roll a 55 or better.
Oh, God.
Coming at you.
All right.
Exclamation mark R D 100.
Hey.
Bang! This thing goes down. Nice one, Gray.
Woohoo! Well done.
Well done. Well done.
Excellent work. Nice one.
Let's go.
Are you going to pass out now? Or are you...
I might just have a little nap, actually. I'm quite
Just need to hush
tired.
the rest of the city. Just ask the rest of the city to be quiet.
Yeah, everybody be quiet.
And a few seconds after that happens, suddenly this man comes at a run around the corner. It doesn't look like the character that normally would run. He's got three very, very large, burly gentlemen. Now, most people you've seen in the short distance, in the short time you've been here, are unarmed. Other than the soldiers, you've seen maybe 2 or 3 people carrying weapons, a sword here and there. These 3 large, burly, shaven head guys have a large, like falchion, a large curved sword belt. He rushes in, takes one look at the cat on the ground, and just screams, "Balfus! Balfus! You've killed my Balfus!" and rushes forward towards this creature on the ground and just wraps his arms around the cat and just starts sobbing, "You monsters! Monsters! What have you done to Balfus?"
Oh, so glad we didn't kill him.
So Eskel or probably Jada, who's closer, can probably relay very hurriedly to from Grey through Jada to them that he's just sleeping.
Well, Gray would know, yeah.
But in Haradanian.
Okay.
Or whatever language that they've just been speaking.
No, it was Herodanium. And so there's a bit of a shouting match then begins between this gentleman and one of the guardsmen, to the effect of, for those that speak Herodanian, you know, "What the hell are you doing letting this thing run throughout the city?" And then the chap with the turban brings out that great line, "Don't you know who..." Whoops, that's not him. "Don't you know who I am?" And things get quite heated for a second. Until one of the very large men reaches down and checks. By the way, your attempts to explain that Balthus isn't actually dead, no one's really interested until one of these big, bald-headed guys reaches down and says, Master, Balthus, he still breathes." And with that, everything just kind of quietens right down. Any actions from anybody?
I think Severin would like to say, "Do not fret, sir. Your creature is merely asleep. We were just trying to attach it with chains and ropes so it didn't injure anybody."
Anybody else?
I'd like to just be very sheepish.
What dagger?
Yeah. Hold your horses, mister. It's still alive.
Anybody else? Nicholas, about now you wake up, by the way. You see Askel staring at you.
Yeah. So I think Eskel would be able to get up, and seeing that Nicholas is awake, he could move in up to the sky and just sort of try and placate him that, you know, that there was no harm going to happen as he steps in front of Jada and her hand with a dagger in it.
Yeah, maybe Severin would try and like to actually charm this guy and just sort of say, you know,
give me a roll.
You know, we've yeah.
Give me a roll.
63.
Plus? 65, I think.
Memory, I think it was. Yeah, 63.
Cool.
Two 63s.
What, kind of what's the tone of what you're saying?
Well, it basically just sort of saying, just greeting him and saying, "Fret not, sir. You know, if you didn't hear him before, you know, we're not seeking to harm your creature. We're merely just placating it. He'll wake up shortly, but we're just tied him onto this window so that he doesn't injure himself or anybody else."
Okay. Well, certainly with the vibe of things have dramatically cooled down now that Balthus is determined to still be alive. The gentleman nods and thanks you, and basically supervises both the chain and the ropes being taken off his prize cat. He says, he pulls one of his men aside, whispers in his ear, while his other companions appear to be finding some kind of cart or something to cart this massive creature off, and then the gentleman with the turban heads off. Without a word to you.
Charming.
Yeah. However, the servant, very big man with a shaven head, comes up to you, Severin, and says, "My master would like to thank you for your kind assistance, and at a time that is suitable to you, please visit his home, where he will thank you in person and give you a small reward for your efforts."
Oh, Severin bows deeply at that. What was his name? Did we get the name?
My master strongly advises that perhaps you come better attired when you come.
Yes, I must apologise, sir. We've just come from out of town and had a rather rough ride.
The big man nods. My master is Ali bin Salman bin Fawd bin Saud. Everybody knows my master in this town. There should be no problem with you finding his address.
Severin will bow again respectfully.
And shortly after, a handcart is found. The three large men load this slightly snoring creature onto the cart. Still appears to be completely asleep, oddly enough. And they begin to wheel the cat off. What do you do?
Let's get cleaned up, shall we? After all the excitement.
To the bank.
Get off the street.
Get off the street, get in and look at our palms.
Something to eat and something to drink and clean.
Yeah.
And clothes.
Eat, drink,
And
bath,
bathing time,
palm,
yep.
palm
Okay.
licking.
We need a nose bag. Hungry.
Before you leave this alleyway, this gentleman here appears to be somewhat more senior than the other two. Turns to you all and says, "I'm not sure." He says in Haradanian, but it's translated. "I'm not sure what you did or what witchcraft you were able to perform, but I sincerely thank you. That could have gone very, very badly had you not done whatever you did. And I will make sure that my captain, Farhad, who you met earlier today, hears of your good deeds. My thanks to you. I didn't want to face that thing. I certainly didn't want to try to take it on armed with just a spear. Thank you for your courageous actions." What did you do, by the way?
Our friend, he has a way with animals and beasts. So he has a connection with certain animals, beasts, and he is able to sometimes placate them.
What?
He is able to tame them.
To tame them. Oh, I see. And make them sleep, by all accounts.
Be relaxed, yes.
Well,
Although I have to say, I'm not sure he was entirely responsible for what just happened.
Whatever you did, I thank you. Thank you deeply and sincerely.
Thank you, sir, for your bravery. It was very impressive the way you stepped forward to protect your citizens. We were very impressed with it, given the circumstances.
He puffs himself up. Well, he did. It's a tough job, this job, but someone's got to do it, and yet we care about the city. At that, he says, "Shall we find you your accommodation?"
Yes, please.
So he loops you, and I'm mindful it's just on 10. People okay for me to continue narrating for a little bit longer, and then we'll wrap?
Yep, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
He leads you back it's kind of around the market, and the sound of the market definitely gets a bit busier again. And you're definitely back into the hubbub of things, and the quality of the buildings increases as well. Looks like this was some kind of shortcut to take you kind of across the market. And you find yourself standing in front of a very grand 3-storied building made of stone and wood, with a very beautiful ornate facade. And then actually inside, and it's built like a square, and inside it has its own private square. And inside that courtyard inside, there are a number of shops and people and vendors actually selling things inside this building. But indeed, the guardsman gestured to you. This is the Grand Bazaar Lodge. Wish you good fortune, and we'll certainly pass your good deeds on to our Captain Farhad. The gods be with you, they say, and turn and leave. What do you do?
Get rooms.
Get rooms.
Yeah, head in.
Okay.
Some food.
Yeah, I think. I mean, we want to keep a fairly low profile. So I mean, if we can, just kind of get some rooms as quickly as possible.
Okay.
Straight to the bar. Order a giant.
Heathens.
Straight to the bar. Order a giant daiquiri.
So,
Virgin Mary.
So this
Giant daiquiri. Those earrings are definitely changing us.
Yep.
So heading inside, you go inside a very, very large, what appears to be a combination of both a restaurant and also somewhere to get a drink. The smell of deliciously cooked food is making all of your mouths water, and you're aware of exactly how hungry and thirsty you are. The room is large and beautifully appointed. There are amazing tapestries up on the walls, and in the center there is a very, very large dais, probably 30 or 10, maybe 20 foot in diameter. Again, another circular dais, and it looks like some kind of performance space. It's a large area, and there are a number of tables and chairs dotted around that. A gentleman comes up to you, quite overweight, extremely well dressed, and he is looking you up and down, and he doesn't seem to look like he likes what he sees. Who are you? He says in Haradanian. We don't allow beggars in here. Who sent you to my door?
So, well, I mean, Severin's happy to try and charm this guy too, if that helps. And he will sort of, explain that, apologise for the way they look. They've just come into town from a very rough voyage, journey, and would really just want to find a room, get rid of all these clothes, and have a bath and re-equip. And he apologises again for the way they look, but they've been in a very hostile place and have just come in out of the wilderness.
Okay. Did you want to roll for it, or are you just happy leaving that as
I can roll. Oh, I can roll if you want. Yeah.
Up to you.
Yeah,
it's up to you. You don't have to.
No, it's fine. No, I'm happy to. If it helps.
Yep. Well, my help. It depends what you roll.
71.
I think it does help. Yeah. So, he kind of takes a step back and, sir, he says, I see that you are a well-spoken gentleman. I'm very sorry to hear that you have suffered such an unpleasant and grievous journey. You are welcome to the Grand Bazaar Lodge. My name is Alim. I own this fine establishment, and yes, as it happens, you're in luck. We've had a number of festival goers recently leave, and we have a number of rooms available, a good number of rooms available. We have a number of our higher quality individual rooms for a price of a bronze piece. That comes with access to your own private bathroom, but also the bathhouse, and indeed the pool. And there's a gymnasium here should you care to exercise. Some people enjoy the opportunity to keep themselves fit and active. We also have some lesser rooms for the cost of around 3 copper pieces. Those would be shared rooms without a bathroom. We could accommodate, yes, all of you in some way, shape or form. What do you wish?
I think we'll go for the posher rooms, shall we?
Yeah, why not? We got a bit of copper.
Exactly.
Yep.
Bronze? Food is included for the price of the bronze.
Right.
That's
Within short order, Alim summons up a number of staff, and you are taken up to beautiful, probably not the top suite, but certainly very well appointed. Beautiful is probably a bit extravagant, but certainly very, very good quality rooms. They have tapestries on the walls. They have good quality locks. Each one has its own balcony, and indeed its own private bathhouse, toilet, I should say. Bathhouse is communal. Well-appointed rooms. There's a wash basin in each room. The beds are comfortable. There's a small settee and seats in each room. You have a chance to clean up a little bit, and then glorious upon glories, the first meal that you've had in a long time, first proper meal that you've had in a long time arrives. I'm afraid it is just stew. It's actually not just stew, but it comes with a delicious ale or two should you wish. Sorry, I just want to play the stew again. There you go. There's the stew. There you go.
Appetizing.
Like the prison food sound.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And that was you guys paying a bronze each. My goodness, it is amazing to eat. As filthy as you are. There is on the floor that you're in, and by the way, all your rooms are close together. In fact, they all are on the same floor. There is a smaller dining room up there, would seat about 15 people, and you're actually served up there together in your filthy rags. First off, the food is impeccable. Pheasant, fish, you name it. Really, really highly spiced, delicious food. A kind of a dal, and it's amazing to eat and drink. Any other actions before we wrap for the session, please, guys?
Maybe just a conversation among us that if we can help it, not to discuss, as the guard put it, sorcery. In that we don't really know what the kind of response would be to that. If we can avoid it.
Cool. Yep, good idea.
Probably last point is both Tanya, Askell, and Jada, you are very aware of very, very, very uncomfortable, itchy palms of your hands.
What do we see?
So each one of you has either that, or that, or that on the palms of both hands.
Maybe Jada could do a diagnosis.
And that, guys, is where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Oh, Chris, you should check the chat stream. Can you see the picture that Graham's posted in
Yeah, I
there?
just noticed that now. That is glorious. That is fantastic. I'm loving that look for you, Askell. Absolutely loving it.
Funny, I was going to try and do something. I ran out of time. I was going to try and do something similar.
Amazing.
But very good.
Excellent.
Like the lipstick.
Excellent. So that's where we're going to leave it, guys. For our viewers' benefit, your GM and his lovely wife are off to travel to Latin America for about 6 weeks. So the date today is the 27th of May. So around mid-June is when we'll be back. And this story, and indeed the other story, the Ain't No Place for a Hero story, will pick up in mid-June. So yes, join us again for some more, urinating cats and putting them to sleep perhaps, or other things.
One can hope.
There we go.
Marvelous.
There we go, guys. And I'm going